How are we doing today? Welcome to another stream, because this one, it's about to be fire, all right? Because we are going to be talking about the continuation of the series that is The Matrix of Lies, all right? For those of you guys who don't know, Common Sense Skeptic has had a phenomenal series that we've covered thus far about Andrew Tate, going step by step, all right, exposing all the lies that these two bozos have laid upon the minds of a bunch of young men out there, all right? And so far, it's honestly just damning, okay? And the reason why this has to happen is because there are a lot of tater tots out there that are in this level of disbelief, right? They almost cannot imagine that this man is guilty, right? And no, there's no evidence out there. See, the only evidence that proves that Tate's not guilty is provided by Tate himself. And when you look at it, all right, it turns out the guy, he's actually self-snitching, all right? He's actually, the evidence you guys are saying is non-evidence is actually evidence, if that actually makes sense, right? And the thing is, when you're dealing with these tater tots, real facts don't make sense to them, okay? The fake ones does. So that's why they'll go with Andrew Tate's brand of evidence versus what is actually out there, the real evidence, okay? So it's very important that we go through and break down this matrix of lies. And he's been doing a great job, all right? And part 3 just came out. We got to cover it because it focuses on a lot more than just Tate's early life and some of the lies that he goes in and he tells. No. It goes in on the people, all right? Certain things and things that they've said as well that really makes you think, all right? So, chat, get the likes up right now because we about to go over part 1. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Oh, by the way, I got permission, but we're covering the Patreon version of it, right? The part that you guys didn't see on YouTube. So this shit's exclusive as all hell right now. Let me get this. What's going on over here? All right, let me get this up and run in chat. Let me know if you can hear me. Let's do, I think it's this one right here. Yep.
Welcome to this finale episode of the Common Sense Skeptic series, Andrew Tate, Matrix of Lies. Parts 1 and 2 are available in their full form only on our Patreon account, and edited down demonetized versions are now available on YouTube. Part 1 dealt with Andrew Tate's early life, overblown kickboxing career, and reality TV phase. Part 2 picked up after those careers ended and takes you through all the illegal activities that Tate and his brother used to build up their social media empire. Now, part 3 is going to deal with their multiple legal issues and how the Tate brothers stand to lose that empire of filth, the value of which seems to have been grossly over-exaggerated to impress their followers. To be as comprehensive as possible, this episode is going to try to keep to a timeline of what and where the Tate brothers and their accomplices were charged with and when. But, of course, there's going to be a couple of tangents thrown in here and there. It is worth recalling at this point in time that Tate's brushes with authorities did not start in 2022. The audio recording we played back in part 1 was evidence in a 2015 investigation of a rape that happened in 2013. We've already told you how the UK authorities investigated that accusation for 4 years before dropping it, due to a small chance of conviction had the charges gone to trial. But that incident is still haunting Andrew Tate to this day, because that rape victim has now joined forces with 3 other victims that have come forward in the meantime, and those 4 women have now taken to civil court to sue Andrew through other channels. On June 14th of 2023, Tate was served with papers alleging rape and sexual assault of these 4 women in the UK between 2013 and 2016. The 4 women seek justice, accountability, and compensation as victims, hoping as well to encourage a renewed UK criminal investigation into these crimes in the hopes of prosecution and conviction in the UK, in addition to the charges that he's facing in Romania. As for a sampling of evidence in this case, one of the victims reports being choked unconscious during her rape, and that Tate kept raping her even after she came to.
We went to my room to have sex, and whilst we were having sex, he put his hand on my throat and strangled me until I lost consciousness. Then when I kind of came back around, it was a bit confusing at first because you don't really know what's happened when you kind of pass out. But he was still having sex with me when I kind of came back around again.
That's gross, bro. That's fucking gross, bro. Like, Jesus. Right? And it's not like, listen, it's one thing if she's into it, right? Which I don't know what kind of woman is into being choked until she's passed out and wakes up while the guy's still having sex with her. It's kind of gross. All right. Like, listen, I maybe you do your thing in the bedroom. It is what it is. But for most normal people out there, I think when someone's passed out, okay, I think they're in a very vulnerable position, and you're if you're a good person, like some of these men claim they are, right? You would be in a position where you're trying to take care of the person, not still trying to get your needs off, right? And that's just it's very telling of this guy's personality and mindset, right? Someone passes out while you're committing that activity, and you're not even prioritizing their well-being to see if they're okay. You're not even prioritizing. It's just he's got to get his rocks off. Doesn't matter, right? I mean, geez, that is crazy. M. Dot with the $50 super chat. We need to get W's in the chat for M. Dot right now. All right, let's go ahead and get it, right? The Tates being found guilty will ruin the reputations of those that vouch for them publicly, platformed them, and did business with them in their inner circle, war room, etc. Fresh and Fit will be known as the channel that platforms rapists, pimps, and pedos. Facts. No, Fresh and Fit has already been going down to be that platform to traffic, not traffic, I'm sorry. Wrong person. To platform a lot of traffickers, rapists, and weirdos on their platform. I mean, think about it. Right? Charleston White was an actual rapist, right? And he came on the platform and bragged about being, a rapist back then. And then, did Fresh and Fit hold him accountable? No. Andrew Tate comes in, who is an actual rapist. I mean, here's someone giving their account of what happened to her while Andrew Tate and her were in a bedroom. And Fresh and Fit platform them, and they go viral. No one questions it, right? It's not until these guys start receiving consequences for their actions, that's when they want us to go ahead and show some empathy, right? It's like, what? Oh no, wait, this whole time when they were bragging about their crimes, bragging about their evil deeds, where was your morality, right? And that's what's going to happen with all these guys that supported them. Every single person that platformed them, gave them an interview. This is exactly what's going to happen to you, right? Because once he gets convicted and no real evidence flow, like, because we're not seeing a whole lot. The limited stuff that we see right now, that's enough to bury him. All right, just the limited information we see right now, it's enough to bury him. His documents are thousands upon thousands upon thousands of pages. All right, the files they have on Andrew Tate is thicker than a file cabinet. It's not once all of that gets released, okay, it's not only going to bury Andrew Tate, but it's big enough to taint and pretty much ruin the careers of every single person that not only platformed them, support them, but also push them and promote them forward, right? They're done. They're done. Credibility-wise, it's over. Because think about it. It's like, you know how Jeffrey Epstein and everybody who was surrounded by Jeffrey Epstein, and they were in the flight logs, and they were all around the island. You notice how when he went down and everything got exposed, right? And you notice how everybody, their careers and their reputations started to wane a little bit. It started to get rocky a little bit, right? Prince Andrew, his career is pretty much done. Bro. I mean, no consequences, but his reputation is done, right? Even his mom, who tried to shield him from facing some kind of a responsibility in America, right? She got clowned for it too. So a lot of people, their reputation just didn't look good after. Look at Bill Gates, right? Didn't he get divorced? Wasn't the whole reason why Bill Gates got divorced was because he was on those flight logs too? Didn't his wife mention that? I might be tripping here. Chat, help me out. I think that was part of the reason that Bill Gates and Melinda was split, because she found out that dude was rolling with Epstein. Or maybe I'm wrong, because I think there was something in that. Let's see, a lot of the consequences of that shit starts to happen pretty effectively, right? So I think it's going to be the same thing with Andrew Tate. What's going to end up happening with guys like Tucker Carlson, your credibility is going to be in the toilet, all right? Don't even come to anybody about Sound of Freedom or trafficking or saving the children, because you just platformed a trafficker and pretended that you didn't know what was going on. I mean, maybe we could give you the benefit of the doubt, Tucker Carlson, that you may actually be an idiot, but there's no excuse for Candace Owens. So Candace Owens, she's going down. Her reputation is already in the gutter for this, right? Because she, out of even Tucker Carlson, because Tucker Carlson, he can play stupid, but Candace Owens went out of her way to not only defend the Tates, but also attack the victim, right? Emma Gabby, she went in and did that unnecessary reading, all right, to try to smear Emma Gabby while trying to pretend that she's neutral and objective and just trying to find the truth. You're shaming the victim, you're dogpiling and then siding with a bunch of fucking pedophiles, all right? Because a bunch of people who Emma Gabby were dealing with, they were all like 35 and above. So you side with those guys just to make Andrew Tate look like someone he actually is, right? Or I mean, Jesus, man. I don't know. It's over. But shout out to you, M. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you. Muad'Dib with the $5 super chat. UK has the shittiest record of rape convictions in Europe. Look up UK rape gangs. America's rape culture is at least discouraged. Facts. I mean, America's not perfect, but at least they try. Right. That's why it's so interesting when people criticize it and things like that. It's like, listen, coming from a different country, coming from a different place, and knowing how other things get down in the rest of the world, people who are here and they're complaining about things, listen, you have the right to do things and complain, and we can get better, but it's a lot worse in all these other countries. Think about it. Just think about it. A lot of these people coming over here and then saying, yeah, America's gone soft. Oh, well, why'd you leave your country? Was it too hard over there? Okay, how about we stop criticizing certain things, all right? And if we fled certain institutions that actually made it worse, okay? How about that? Okay, because I mean, listen, you can't go to other countries and talk shit about the president or talk shit about certain things, right? You'll get 86, man. I mean, it's crazy, but yeah, you're absolutely right. Shout out to you, Muad'Dib. I appreciate the super chat. Let's continue, bro.
When you say you came round, are you saying that he was still penetrating you?
He was, yeah. As soon as the person you're having sex with is unable to communicate what they want to do, then that consent is just completely gone. We didn't have sex again after that. But he kind of kept saying, I own you, you belong to me, threatening to kill me. And then the next day, one of the whites of my eyes had gone completely red. That's kind of common in domestic abuse cases where there's a lack of oxygen in your brain.
The other 3 women also report violent rapes, serious physical assaults, and controlling and coercive behavior. They hope this lawsuit will encourage other victims of any sexual assault to come forward and call out their attackers, no matter how powerful they may be. As for Tate's outrageous media claims that these women are not even real, the lawyers for the victims have some pretty blunt words for Tate. Talk of the Matrix and false flags hold no weight in court.
Boom. Hey, Tater Tots, I hope you hear that. I hope you can read that. Listen, you can talk and the Matrix are coming after us, this and that. Listen, at the end of the day, it's what's going to happen in court. So Andrew Tate can do all the screaming online, and he can do all the yapping about how the Matrix is attacking him and whatever the hell. All right. At the end of the day, whatever happens in court, the evidence will show. All right, and that's what's gonna do him in. You guys are clearly not paying attention. And what you don't understand too is like these rape situations are notoriously tough. All right, because one of the main arguments a lot of people who are in the red pill space use to try to like kind of discredit a lot of women that claim rape. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of false accusations out there, but just don't get it twisted, bro. A lot of people find it difficult to come forward right away, right? Because a lot of the red pills, what they do is they'll say, well, listen, if the woman was really hurt or raped, right? Why didn't she come forward right away, right? Why didn't she just come out and go file a report? Why did she just come out and go do certain things and get that guy out of there, right? And what you guys don't understand is that's such black and white thinking. It doesn't often work like that. Sometimes the woman might be intimidated. Sometimes she might feel as though, you know what, it'd be better to just get this whole ordeal, negative trauma behind me as much as possible, and they don't want to relive the situation or whatever it is going through it. And there's some other people that will come forward, but maybe something in the system just doesn't go through or falls through, and maybe something happens and the individual gets away with it. So it's not always that easy when a lot of you guys are saying, well, why didn't she just go to the authorities? All right. And then other times when someone who has vast amount of influence like Andrew Tate does it, right? Of course, people are going to be reluctant to, unless they bring in a bunch of people who are not scared and that you protect them in some kind of way. It's going to be tough to go against someone like Andrew Tate and say, hey, this guy actually did something negative to me, right? It's difficult to do that because you have guys like Andrew Tate that owns numerous social media accounts and can do nothing else but get those bots to shout you down, discredit you, intimidate you. Hell, Andrew Tate is even known for sending people over to other guys' house, all right, and for the purpose of intimidating them. I mean, think about it. Andrew Tate chokes you unconscious, and he has this power to be able to intimidate you at his fingertips, no matter where you are in the world. You think it's going to be that easy for you? Come on, bro. Y'all need to get out of your weird-ass mindset and just step into a different world and understand that these guys, they're really not good people.
The survivors look forward to seeing him there. We're going to go back and address some viewers from part 1 who told us we needed to give Tate a pass on what they called typical BDSM behavior. We want you to pay close attention to this clip, which started making its rounds on Twitter earlier this month.
Let me tell you something. Girls come to me and go, yeah, beat it up. I was like, oh, yeah, okay, cool. No, I mean it. No, bitch, I mean it. I guarantee I changed the way you look at sex forever. You're going to be fucking crying. I won't cry. I bet you cry, bitch. I bet you fucking cry. Don't challenge me. You're effectively challenging me to a fight now. You're saying I can't hurt you. You're out of your fucking mind? I don't even have to fuck you. Forget the sex part. That's a distraction. My dick can stay in my pants. I'll just start beating the shit out of you. How about that? We walk in the bedroom. I start kicking your ass. But you cry then? Yeah, you want distraction from the dick. Well, that distracts me. I'm trying to fucking fight. No, I just want to fight.
What? Who looks at this and says, yeah, bro, this is totally cool. Yeah, this guy, man, he should just lead us, man. He's totally based. There's 641 likes on this video, and it's probably more. Like, this guy's legitimately talking about beating up a woman. He says, fuck the sex. No, let's just fight. I'm gonna beat you up. You know, I'm a world-renowned kickboxer in a obscure league. But yeah, I'm about to fight you right now. That's crazy that he's just, and you can't see his eyes in this video right there, but he's looking at the camera with intent, bro. Like, he's done this before.
Say that shit to me again. Can I say this on YouTube? Yeah, I can say this on YouTube. I've legitimately done that. Girls run their mouth. I start beating the fuck out. I'm not even having sex. They love it more than ever. They like it more. The less sex you have with them, the better.
You know what's crazy? The way he's talking right now, knowing fully well he runs an OnlyFans operation. You know that guy that got caught up next to him, that Vlad guy, right? That I forgot. I'm sure Common Sense will cover it, right? But that Vlad guy also got busted because he was beating up some of the chicks too as well, right? It just makes you think, bro. Like a lot of y'all tater tots will say, "Oh no, he's just talking. He's just trying to be shocking," right? But realistically, there are people connected to this guy who were beating up girls, okay? And there's proof of that. All right, just like he's talking right now, all because the girl decides to vocalize that maybe she wants to do something different, right? In Vlad's case, the girl didn't want a third tattoo of his name on her body, so he beat her to a goddamn pulp almost. That's crazy. So he's talking about leaving her black and blue and all this just because she just talked back to him. You want to say that this is all just for play? You just say that this is all just talk? Are you gonna sit there and not see that this man is probably speaking from experience the way he's talking right now? Maybe there was a time where he was having sex with a girl and he just said, fuck it, now I'm just gonna beat the fuck out of you. No, I'm not even having sex with you anymore. I'm just gonna derive pleasure from seeing you in genuine pain. This guy has issues. He's got some serious issues, bro.
Tate crossed the line from consensual arousal to physical abuse a long time ago. Now it's not even possible for him to just spank his partner. He feels the need to beat the shit out of her. Moving on, another set of articles we've come across from Antenna Stars in 2020 indicate that Andrew Tate was questioned with regards to drug trafficking and murder charges some years prior. Obviously, even if he was questioned by authorities, once again he didn't face any charges here. But when you come across clips like this, it sets your mind to wonder. This is Andrew and Tristan on their rented yacht, sat with two small women who never make a peep, while these two man-children brothers try to impress these girls with tough talk.
Jake is more of a man than Logan.
Oh, 100%.
That's why Jake doesn't listen to Logan, and that's why Logan is sitting there as the older brother, bum-licking Jake's enemy. A bunch of bullshit, right? You're the older brother. You have to set an example. Anybody...
Chineke, you're the one to talk. You're the older brother. You're supposed to set an example. What example are you setting for your little brother Tristan over here? What are we talking? Oh my God! You talking about Jake and Logan Paul? At least they're not being caught up in the Romanian government on a trafficking scheme. Okay, so if you want to compare your brotherhood relationship to them, all right, I would say they're doing a better off job than you guys are about to be doing in the next couple of months. What are you talking about? Huh? Yeah, you as a big brother, you have to set an example for your little brother. And what example is it you're setting for Tristan, my boy? Huh? What about your little sister? What example are you setting for your family as the older child? Oh, let me just run my mouth off about my various criminal enterprises, all right? And just sound cool in front of a bunch of people that at the end of the day probably don't give a shit. But you're here judging other people's family relationships. This guy is an ultimate version of a clown. Like, I don't know what else to say, bro.
Anybody who has beef with my brother, you have beef with my brother, it's on site. On site. I don't care if you're in a club. I don't care if you're in a supermarket.
And
hear
hear
me
me
on
out.
the street. I don't care if you're with 10 of your boys. I'll roll up strapped. On site. Bum, bum, bum. All of you. Fuck you. On site. You have beef with my brother's on site. He's going to sit there and be best friends with his brother's fucking enemy.
Combine that statement with headlines from podcasts quoting Tate as saying, "I've watched wives crying over their lifeless husbands," in an article where he states he's watched 5 people die. And it makes you wonder if the UK investigators are still looking for a suspect in that murder they questioned Tate about, or if they let the wrong man go a second time.
Bum, bum, bum.
That curiosity gets further fueled when you hear Vivian say things like this while casually answering questions from her TikTok or OnlyFans followers.
The reasoning behind like why some girls don't like it because they're scared they're gonna die. I've actually seen some guys actually accidentally, how funny is that? Actually accidentally kill their girlfriends during a sex because they were choking them that hard.
This statement and the nonchalant attitude with which she shared that information.
What the fuck is wrong with this woman? Oh yeah, I've actually seen it. Yeah, I've seen people get killed. I've seen people get killed. Yeah, accidentally. Yeah, I mean, what? Yo, who did it? Who did it? Was it Tate? Did Tate accidentally kill somebody? Who killed somebody accidentally during sex? Could it be one of the politicians that you guys are in bed with? Who did you witness as? Because this is Vivian, ain't her? This is the 15-year-old. I mean, the girl Tate recruited when she was 15, right? So she was with Tate for a long time. So who did she see that actually got murdered accidentally during sex? Y'all remember that Air Force pilot? Y'all remember him? That major in the Air Force or something like that? Was it? Y'all remember that, right? Remember that Common Sense also in the last video you covered, they talked about how the guy had to Tate did a personal favor for this guy, right? So that's why now he's all of a sudden part of the war room, and he's, you know, teaching people certain things, and they even have a separate LLC that they run, you know, that has to do with airlines or whatever it is, right? So, you know, when you see Vivian over here talking, and she's saying, yeah, I've seen guys accidentally, you know, kill women before, right? During sex, you know, you come to wonder, you know, what kind of things go on, you know, behind the Tate crime enterprise that we see, right? I mean, could it be that personal favor that was done? Could it be that, man, this is speculation here, all right? But could it be that personal favor was because Tate helped bury a body? Could it be that Tate and the Tate crime organization helped you know, move around, you know, escorts that didn't make it? This is getting very interesting, bro. This is getting this is getting crazy. Like, just how she's bobbing her head to it too. It's insane.
They let the wrong man go a second time.
Bum, bum, bum.
That curiosity gets further fueled when you hear Vivian say things like this while casually answering questions from her TikTok or OnlyFans followers.
The reasoning behind like why some girls don't like it because they're scared they're gonna die. I've actually seen some guys actually accidentally, how funny is that? Actually accidentally kill their girlfriends during a sex because they were choking them that hard.
This statement and the nonchalant attitude with which she shared that information while bobbing her head along to music is extremely disturbing.
That's so scary, bro. Like, it's not even, this is not a normal human. This is not a human being. Who would want to have this as a girlfriend? This is not a normal human being, bro. Like, this person has been through some shit. Like, this is a traumatic, this is a person who's seen a lot of trauma in her life, dog. And she's just rolling with it like it's nothing. Like, look at those eyes. There's no soul in them. Yo!
And raises even more questions, since Vivian had been with Tate since the age of 15, and she was supposedly exclusive to him for at least 6 years, and her job as bottom was to sleep with the girls, not other men. Who exactly did Vivian watch kill multiple girls by choking them to death? Also, where did these events happen? What happened to these victims? And were these deaths reported or covered up? You take Tate's declared mafia affiliation, obvious hatred towards women, known reports of how brutal he can be, and other statements that he makes.
That's how it goes. Slap, slap, grab, choke, shut up, bitch, sex. These are the basic moves of pimping.
And you have to wonder, is there a good reason why Andrew Tate, the self-proclaimed trillionaire, lives only 2 blocks away from this large Bucharest graveyard?
Yeah, no, I take my other 30 back. He killed somebody. Tate killed somebody. He killed a girl. He probably killed an ex-girlfriend of his. I don't know, bro. But none of this. He either killed somebody, right? And that's who Vivian is talking about, or she was there and witnessed something happen to someone around Tate, right? And the cemetery, that didn't even notice that. Bro, you could just throw the body overboard. Just throw it right over there. Just bury it right there. No one know the difference. That's insane. Yo! And look at the arrow, guys. Look at the arrow. It's like you can easily move bodies at nighttime through this over here because you got the entire back part, right? You got the neighborhood over here, and then you got the back part right back here. But ultimately, bro, what is this? Who did Vivian witness choke someone during sex and they died? Why was she so cool about it? Yeah, Tate killed somebody. Tate killed somebody, bro. I wouldn't be surprised if they uncovered that. That might be like a smoking gun type of secret, bro.
Now, of course, none of these events are why the Tate brothers are in hot water at the present. Their current legal woes, and the reason why they're currently under judicial control in Romania, unable to leave Bucharest and the surrounding county of Ilfov, originate from events involving an American girl that Tristan Tate recruited in the winter of 2021 by the name of Emma Gabby. Emma is a 21-year-old photographer and musician that the Tate brothers met at a fashion show in 2021, according to Gabby's mother. Tristan Tate began an online relationship with Emma starting November of 2021, expressing false feelings for her and promising a serious relationship if she came to Romania for him. As demonstrated in chat logs, they guaranteed her safety in Romania. Tristan paid for the airline ticket that transported her and picked her up from the airport in a blue Rolls-Royce on April 5th of 2022. Tristan took Emma back to his house, which was patrolled by armed guards, and she was told the guards would not let her outside without his permission because, Tate said, he had too many enemies. Tristan didn't stay with Emma, instead leaving her under the control of Georgiana. And
bro, she looks like a demon. Bro, she looks... Bruh, who's that? What's that movie? Maleficent, right? She looks like that evil witch, right? She looks like a complete demon. More deep with the $2 super chat says that Logan Paul did scam millions of people with his supporters from his supporters. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he's also a scumbag. But like, it's like talking about the bottom of the barrel here. Who's better, right? Yeah, they're both. Listen, trafficking or scamming people, I think trafficking is worse, but they're both shitty, right? It's kind of like that. More deep. So it says throw up a mandatory disclaimer, allegedly. Oh, yeah, with the Tate being murdering somebody, allegedly, all right? But, like, listen, it's speculation. It's all speculation, right? I'm speculating here. I don't know if it's true or not, but a lot of this stuff just kind of makes too much sense, all right? You could definitely move a body, especially if you're buried next to the graveyard. This guy has mob ties, so just speculating here. Yeah, who's to say that he's not he wasn't also a cleanup man, right? Who's to say that? We don't know. I mean... a lot of these questions that are unanswered, only time would tell.
The girl's movements were monitored by cameras that the Tates could access remotely to watch her. Emma was later moved to a different property with 4 other girls further away from Tristan, and again told she could not go outside unless one of the other women accompanied her. Gabby was growing fearful of the brothers, coming to the conclusion that Tristan and his brother were terrible people and were actually evil. The text log between Emma, notated as Bear, and her parents, whose names are redacted, describe a deteriorating, potentially dangerous situation that Emma needed to get clear of, and she intended to escape the house, bringing a Moldovan girl named Aliona with her. Although the girls were planning on escaping the house on their own, Gabby's parents in the U.S. instead activated the American embassy, who alerted DICOT in Romania, resulting in 2 properties owned by the Tates getting raided on April 11th of 2022. Only 6 days after Emma's arrival in Romania. During these operations, armed guards found and rescued 4 women in total from these homes, including Gabby and her friend. At this time, as a result of this raid and its discoveries, authorities seized computers and personal digital devices thought to be of value to a broader investigation. Information gathered from these materials also resulted in the January 2023 raids of Tristan's baby mama's condo and the home of Vlad Obu, the Tate war room monster that we warned you about in part 2.
This guy right here, this guy who basically beat up his girl because she didn't want to get a 3rd tattoo of his name. All right, so look at the kind of people Andrew Tate surrounds himself by. Shout out to Burn for the $17.99 super chat. I appreciate you. He didn't even have a comment to say, but just showing love. I appreciate the support. Thank you so much. That guy, Vlad Obu, is his name. Look at this pathetic sack of shit, dude. Look at him.
For the next 8 months, investigators would use these devices and victim interviews to construct their case against the Tates, while the brothers continued to flaunt their lifestyle across social media, until those outlets were shut down to them in August of 2022, when Andrew Tate was banned by Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, matching Twitter's long-standing ban on Tate due to his misogynistic message. Around the same time, Andrew Tate started moaning to the press about false accusations of being swatted, including during an interview with Tucker Carlson, in an obvious attempt to deflect suspicion away from him.
News accounts in the United States say that the U.S. Embassy in Bucharest, Romania, was tipped off to your misdeeds and alerted the local authorities you might be committing human trafficking. Were you arrested for human trafficking? What happened?
Yeah, I was not arrested. So what happened is I suffered from a case of swatting. It's very popular with people who are large on the internet. Many large YouTubers have been swatted. It's where you call the police and you say somebody has a gun or there's a hostage situation and the SWAT team arrives. Somebody made a phone call to the American embassy saying that I was holding women at my house. The police arrived. They investigated. They realized that nobody was in the house against their will. There was no crime committed. They said, okay, you're not a suspect.
Amazing. Every word of what you just said was wrong.
What a liar. Like, I didn't even see that. Yo, what a liar. What the hell? How you going to sit there and say, oh, no, I got swatted. Yeah, that's what it was. No, bro, because the truth is out. It was Emma Gabby's mom that likely gave the call to the embassy that got you raided. It wasn't a SWAT. It was a woman who legitimately had concern for her daughter who is currently at your house. So the fact that he's able to go on Tucker Carlson, this was when he was still on Fox News, and lie to millions of people and say it's just swatting. This is what internet people, this is what they go through all the time. No. Okay, what Fuzi did to himself, that's swatting. Okay, what you did, somebody else legitimately had a grievance. You had their daughter. So they went through every length to get her back, and they did. Yo, you guys are, wow. Yeah, this is crazy.
3 months later, in November of 2022, Musk ended the lifetime suspension of Tate on Twitter, opening the doors to an expansion of Tate's social media influence, no longer requiring him to use his Minion affiliates to spread his message, a move that allowed him now to troll people like Greta Thunberg out of the blue. Then, on December 29th of 2022, more than 8 months after the raid that freed Emma Gabby, after interviewing other witnesses and victims discovered during this investigation, after combing through hard drives and social media accounts, Dicott showed up at the door of Tate's compound with armed officers to haul away Andrew and Tristan and 2 female accomplices, holding them on suspicion of rape and human trafficking involving 6 identified victims. The Tates would immediately start pleading their innocence, making declarations there was no evidence to support these charges, and in response, the Romanian authorities released photos of the evidence it had taken them 8 months to compile, a file totaling 70,000 pages. The following day, a Romanian judge ordered the 4 criminals detained for 30 days, as requested by the prosecutors. On January 4th of 2023, Dicott conducted another raid on Tate properties, 7 properties in total, seizing 11 supercars on this date, along with the other assets mentioned in Part 2. These criminals lost an appeal of their detention on January 10th, and on January 20th of 2023, the detention was extended for another 30 days until February 27th, allowing prosecutors more time to continue their investigation, now focusing on human trafficking and organized crime. Another appeal of their detention on February 1st failed, and 3 weeks later, the brothers got another month tacked on. The brothers would be granted house arrest on March 31st of 2023 after 3 months of incarceration. From their warehouse hideaway, they would immediately start broadcasting across social media, pleading their innocence. As a part of this spin cycle, on June 1st, 2023, the BBC was invited to the Tate compound for the first mainstream media interview since their arrest. More on what happened here a little bit later. 3 weeks after the BBC interview, on June 20th of 2023, the formal indictment against all 4 named criminals came down, outlining charges of human trafficking in a continued form, rape in a continued form, and organizing a criminal group, along with several other smaller crimes. These are charges that are moving forward against them, and we're going to dissect them in detail. To bring us up to date, while we were writing this finale, the Tates were granted leave from their house arrest on August 4th of 2023, and were moved to judicial control, which is the equivalent of being out on bail.
He's not free, Tater Tots. He's out on bail.
A move that sparked a social media avalanche of claims that the Tates were innocent, that charges had been dropped, and that they were now free men. Another series of lies that we are going to break down as we discuss the charges against these 4 co-conspirators.
Like, I'm sorry, it's so brazen, all of these lies. Like, how do you go from going from house arrest to going out on bail and then telling the world, no, I'm innocent, they didn't find any evidence, that's why they let us go free? Huh? Like, obviously, if we look at the facts, it does not point or indicate the case, okay? You're still under judicial control. You're still under the watchful eye of the Romanian government, meaning you're not going anywhere, dog. Like, I don't care what you say. Like, you can't leave the country whenever you want, so you're not a free man. So why come out with this massive media campaign? And it was crazy because he did come out with a video. I didn't think we reacted to that, and we didn't react to that one. But because I was like, what is this guy doing? But we might actually react to it. When he just gets out and say, oh, see, all of you guys who doubted me, all right, see, I'm innocent. They couldn't find everything. The judge looked at every single page, and they said this was not enough evidence to convict the man and let me go free. It's like, huh? No, that's not it. No, it's not. That's not what it says. You lying. I'm looking at the document right now. Matter of fact, they got thousands of pages of documents, bro. The judge said they need more time to review those thousands of pages of documents. And meanwhile, it's not beneficial for them, at least anymore, to keep you under house arrest because they don't deem you a flight risk. So you can go move around the capital in the city or in the jurisdiction of, was it Involved County or whatever it is, right? You can't leave there. But we don't consider you a flight risk or a witness intimidator. Okay, so you're fine. Okay, that's not equivalent to being free. We can look at the evidence and facts. It's funny. A lot of people who are joined under this matrix idea of seeking the truth, all right, and breaking the reality, and by taking the fake reality, by taking the red pill, right? You guys are bought in to lies. Like, how can you guys be bought into such easy lies that you could debunk? It's almost like the people who claim that they're trying to be awakened from the matrix are actually stupid, and they don't do any research. They just take things that fit with their current worldview and they run with it without questioning. Y'all are insane. You realize this, right? Great Pill with the $2 super chat. Shout out to you. Salute to the chat and panel. Salute to you guys. Let's get the likes up. Shout out to you.
Starting with the charges of human trafficking. Both Andrew and Tristan Tate are accused by the Romanian authorities as trafficking victims using the lover boy method, also known as the Romeo pimp method, where traffickers try to get potential victims to fall in love with them. And of course, a pimp is a person that controls and financially benefits from the commercial sexual exploitation of another person. Being lover boys is something the Tates have both denied in interviews, feigning ignorance as to what that means, while giving their audience completely false information.
So even with this garbage they're hitting me with, human trafficking. So they come along and they said, oh, you're a human trafficker. I was like, well, I've never transported anyone. I've never kidnapped anyone. I've never restricted anyone. I've never held anyone. They said, no, but you're a human trafficker via the lover boy method. I said, what's that? It's where you pretend to love them. So what, being nice? So I was nice to some girls 10 years ago? Is that my crime? Maybe I did love them. But we're not together anymore, so what? I pretended? Who said I pretended? Prove I pretended to love. And then what did I pretend to love them to achieve? The case against me is that I pretended to love girls to make them do TikTok for money. 2 years ago.
I mean, that seems like the reason right there. So why? Wait, hold up. We got to rewind this because it seems the way he was asking or restating the situation, right? Like, oh, it's wait. I was just being. So I was being nice to girls. Really? You said I was tracking. I was being nice to them. Well, why would I be nice to them for? Huh? And he just ends up answering it. No, they listed all of that. They broke everything down, bro. So you trying to restate the charges and then go ahead and answer them in a way where it makes it seem trivial or ludicrous that they can actually charge you with something so for being nice. I mean, why would they charge someone for being nice? No, you're overly simplifying your situation right now. You know that. Like, that's crazy that he's doing this. Anybody who reads, all right, the indictment report, that's how I know y'all don't do any research. Again, listen, I still have that bet up there. All right, to any of you tater tots out there that want to prove me wrong and say I'm lying, 5 bands. All right, that's as much as I'm doing. I'm not going over that. All right, but I will put up 5 bands right now. Okay, you give me evidence that supports this guy is innocent, right? That says this guy is innocent of all charges. All right, I will tell you that you haven't read the indictment report. I can tell you that right now. 5 bands on the table. Go ahead. I haven't got one tater tot taking me up on offer. Go ahead. Give me whatever proof. You can even use the indictment saying that Andrew Tate is innocent. All right? Whatever proof you want. And I would tell you, almost guarantee you haven't read it. You haven't done, because if you read the indictment, coupled with all the stuff that Andrew Tate has been saying, you'd realize that even the fact that he's up here lying, there's likely evidence that he's guilty of something. Whether it's the tax evasion or the actual trafficking part. That trafficking part is easy to prove. It's already done. Lovable method, it's already done. But the other things, you guys haven't read the indictment. Some of y'all, you're saying, oh, well, they can't prove that he was doing this stuff in 2022, right? Or 2023 or 2021. I mean, because he said it was 10 years ago. So he wasn't doing the trafficking then. That was 10 years ago. Then you look at the clips. The clips were from literally last year, 2 years ago. They were within 5 years, all less than 5 years old. So he's misrepresenting the dates. Again, when you even go read the indictment, what is the indictment going all the way back to? 2016. The indictment is charging him back to 2016. They're looking back and saying, hey, since 2016, this is what this guy's been up to. You haven't read this freaking paperwork, bro, and you guys claim to be doing research. I don't get it. I don't understand you people, right? That you want to be woke, but then you're being stupid. I don't understand.
They're hitting me with human trafficking. So they come along and they said, oh, you're a human trafficker. I was like, well, I've never transported anyone. I've never kidnapped anyone. I've never restricted anyone. I've never held anyone. They said, no, but you're a human trafficker via the lover boy method. I said, what's that? It's where you pretend to love them. So what, being nice? So I was nice to some girls 10 years ago? Is that my crime? Maybe I did love them. But we're not together anymore, so what? I pretended? Who said I pretended? Prove I pretended to love. And then what did I pretend to love them to achieve? The case against me is that I pretended to love girls to make them do TikTok for money.
2 years ago, my brother and I formed an organized criminal gang with the intent of moving women to Romania so we could steal money from their TikTok accounts to enrich ourselves.
But a reminder that ignorance of the law is not a defense from breaking it. Since being released from prison, while they were still on house arrest, the tapes were recorded by a large number of international news organizations and other podcasters with international followings. Combined, they will constitute a campaign of misinformation that we are going to help shine a light on as we wallow through this muck. Two of the most recent interviewers, namely Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson, have been acting especially dense when it comes to the Tates and what they're charged with, ignoring publicly available international definitions for what human trafficking is, as an example. Here's how they danced around the human trafficking definition during their interviews, instead of going into them with a clear understanding of the subject matter.
I was already extremely financially successful. I was already a father. I was already very well known. I had no financial motivation. I have no criminal record. It's not my personality profile, but I woke up at the age of 35 and decided to make girls do TikTok to enrich myself with the pennies that I would earn from TikTok views.
So in the United States, I think the belief is that you were charged with human trafficking.
Yeah, that's human trafficking, because what you do is you force a girl to work against her will for financial gain. That's human trafficking. And their justification for this is that girls do TikTok. Some girls I know who they found who say they're not victims have TikTok accounts.
How do you force someone to do TikTok videos?
I guess the prosecutor is going to have to explain that, isn't he?
They will. Oh, they will, bro. You just wait.
And then I realized how closely pornography is related to human sex trafficking.
Real sex trafficking, not TikTok
sex
accounts.
Trafficking. And yeah, we should talk about that because they are kind of stretching the definition of sex trafficking. In your case, I've taken a look at it.
But I'm confused as to how what you're being accused of constitutes human trafficking.
Well, it's a very loose law. It's a very,
but the term doesn't seem to have a real definition.
No, it doesn't.
Tucker Carlson on tape saying that human trafficking doesn't have a real definition. That's crazy. That's crazy, bro. Like, there's a clear, defined, like, oh my God. There are clearly defined outlines for human trafficking that has been in place for years now. even while Tate and them were teenagers, okay? So the fact that even guys like Tucker, who's been on mainstream news, right, who has the resources to do research, is sitting there saying, well, you know what, human trafficking, it looks like it's loosely defined, right? Because there's real human trafficking, and then there's this, lover boy method thing that Andrew Tate's being charged with. I mean, we wouldn't consider that real human trafficking. I mean, look, there are people who are being smuggled across the border, all right? What about all these things going on in other countries, like with pimps and sex slaves and whatnot? That's real human trafficking. I mean, these girls are in chains, but Andrew Tate being nice to a bunch of girls to convince them to leave their hometown and do TikTok so they can get guys to their OnlyFans account so they can start making money while Andrew Tate takes 70% of their earnings. That's not real trafficking. That's just him being nice, Yeah, Tucker, you're such a tool, bro.
Especially when you understand that the Romanian alleged victims, who say they're not victims, have lived in this country for 10 to 15 years before I ever showed up here. So I'm not sure how the trafficking took place.
Human trafficking is not in any way an ambiguous term, and it has not been stretched in this case whatsoever. There are a number of ways one can be considered a human trafficker, and they're all laid out in black and white. Here's how human trafficking is defined by the United Nations Trafficking in Persons Protocol. If one of each of these criteria is met, the person is a human trafficker by definition. They could, for example, transport persons they have abducted for the purpose of removing their organs. They could harbor persons through abuse of power to use as slaves. What the Tates are accused of in their criminal proceedings is recruiting through deception for the purposes of sexual exploitation.
Bro, let's go back to this little chart real quick, because it makes it so easy to break this down. Like, all of this I don't know why you tater tots. It's literally a 3-step process. You can't miss this, right? Each and every one of these process needs to be triggered, all right? Minus if you're a kid or not, all right? But if you are an adult, right, each of these needs to be triggered for you to be considered a trafficker. There needs to be an act, there needs to be a means, and it needs to be a purpose, all right? The act can be any one of these: recruit, transportation, transferring, harboring, or receiving, okay? Means could be threat, coercion, fraud, deception, abuse of power, preying on vulnerability, and abduction, okay? And the purpose is for prostitution, sexual exploitation, forced labor, slavery, servitude, or removal of organs, okay? And we know these are different types of trafficking that exist. If you put all these together, because all of these forms have to happen for someone to be trafficked, it's clear what the Tates are doing. If you go to past videos where Tates would literally use pimp terms, all right? Tristan was on video talking about he's recruited more girls to the OnlyFans industry, or not OnlyFans, or whatever, the webcamming industry, then, what do you call it? The guy had slept with the porn stars, right? So it's very interesting. You get these guys on tape saying that, hey, I've recruited before, all right? So what are the means? Okay, the way they did it was through deception. All right, that deception is the lover boy method, which I also believe, and somebody correct me on this or not, but I also believe the lover boy method is basically a romance scam. And for those of you guys who know what a romance scam is, put a 1 in the chat. All right, a romance scam essentially is when someone online, like a scammer from Nigeria, or a scammer from India, or a scammer from Russia, or wherever these guys congregate. All right, what they would do is they'll put up these fake profiles, and then they'll get you to fall in love with them. All right, and then all of a sudden problems start happening in their lives to get you to send money, right? And you'll start sending them money for maybe paying a cell phone bill, or sometimes they'll even try to come see you, all right? And they'll tell you there's a problem with the embassy, or they'll tell you there's a problem with getting their passport, and you need to pay them. Essentially, it's a scheme devised to suck money out of the victim, all right? And essentially, that's what Tate and his cam girls did to most men out there. It was partially a romance scam. But I think that's what I think it is, right? You can call it lover boy method, but I think lover boy method and romance scams are like two sides of the same coin, basically. But correct me if I'm wrong, okay? And the purpose is obviously for making the Tate Foundation money, all right? Not even foundation, I'm sorry, the Tate crime family is to make them money, okay? So all of these things were triggered for Tate to be called a trafficker. These girls don't have to be in chains. They don't have to be, held at gunpoint, all right? Any one of these can be triggered for you to be a trafficker. And remember a long time ago when I was telling y'all, hey, Tate's teaching a course to have guys know how to be be mini traffickers, right? Y'all remember that? Y'all say, Duke, that's absurd. How dare you say that, right? Tate's not teaching other guys to be mini traffickers. All right, he's giving them money-making plans so they can be successful six-figure earning top G's. Okay, how can you say he's transforming them into traffickers? Fast forward 2023. Even his video in his war room recruiting y'all was basically him telling you guys, yeah, commit all these steps right here. You want to go ahead and recruit these girls, all right, and then you want to go ahead and pretend you love these girls, and then you want to go ahead and get them to do OnlyFans so they can make you money. He taught that in the course. He was literally teaching you guys how to be mini traffickers. So I'm sorry when I said back then that a bunch of guys that Andrew Tate is creating nowadays, y'all need to go to hell. Y'all hated me for it. I'm sorry, bro. But if you couldn't clearly see that he was teaching you guys how to be mini traffickers and you went along with this, you're not wise enough to move throughout this world and not go ahead and hurt somebody. I'm sorry. You don't have those capabilities, because any smart person, I'm sorry, not even a smart person, that's too exclusive. Let's just say any reasonable person or someone who genuinely thought they were competent in something, right? They can look at what that guy was saying back then and say, this isn't right. Something is wrong about this. But the vast majority of you guys didn't do it. You applauded it and got mad at me for calling you guys assholes. Who's right now?
To use as slaves. What the Tates are accused of in their criminal proceedings is recruiting through deception for the purposes of sexual exploitation. The actual wording across all charges reads similar to this, with small variations depending on the victim. The defendant, Andrew Tate, using the Instagram application while in Romania, recruited by deception the victim by falsely inducing her about the intention to establish a family marriage relationship and the existence of false feelings, with the aim of sexually exploiting her by forcing her to engage in pornographic activities. There are slight variations across the 4 victims attributed to Andrew, and then substitute Tristan for the 3 victims attributed to him. Being human traffickers is something the brothers now deny in every interview conducted with them. Except there's a couple problems with these men making those claims.
And not to plug or anything, but in my course, we talk about weaponizing your attention, because that's the only thing a man has.
I say plug away. What's the website?
It's cobratate.com, and I've got a course on there that basically explains how I got girls to work for me. For
Tate's PhD, right?
It's a PhD course, pimping hose degree.
Hey, has the president made a statement about this? Can somebody verify if the president of the Manosphere, Mr. Anthony Johnson, who's seen clearly promoting Andrew Tate, has he said something about this yet? I want to know if he's made a statement, because that'd be very interesting to know. All right, because this is a lot of this clip is being passed around the internet with his face on there, and he's a family man. So, what do we have a statement here? I mean, what's going on?
Fuck yeah. I was wondering what it meant.
PhD, pimping hose degree.
I've seen it. I just didn't know what the PhD meant. I was like, is this a PhD in pimpology? Like, what is this?
But yeah, I basically explained how I got girls and how I got them to work for me.
Okay.
So it's not just about picking up girls. It's about like converting them into really loving you enough to moving in with you and working for you and giving you all the money.
Sounds an awful lot like sexual exploitation and human trafficking to us. But there's some small print here that we need to highlight as well. If the victim is under 18 years old, according to this protocol set out by the United Nations, which Romania joined on December 14th of 1955, these victims are defined as children, and therefore the second criteria is not required to qualify the activities as human trafficking. Meaning, no matter how it was done, someone who recruits victims for sexual exploitation is every bit as much a human trafficker as another criminal that transported victims for organ removal. So the only question remaining would then be, were the Tates recruiting women into online sex work?
I have recruited, I think, although you've worked with a lot, more girls into, I guess, the adult entertainment industry than anyone else.
Go.
I really have.
That's how you recruit girls.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
And sex work.
Look at this. Look at this. Chat. They're using those terms. They're literally using those terms. How can you be so oblivious to the truth? How can you call yourself red pill truth seekers and be so oblivious to the obvious truth that these guys are scammers? Okay? They're scammers and traffickers. I don't know. I know this guy's a clown. That's for sure. I know that's Jay Waller. He's definitely a clown. All right. But I don't know who this guy is. I'm not familiar with this guy. But I know for a fact he's a clown. And I know for a fact he's a clown. All right. If these are all war room members, they're all clowns. Let's just be real. He's admitting. How much proof do you need, guys? How much?
I have recruited, I think, although you've worked with a lot, more girls into, I guess, the adult entertainment industry than anyone else. I really have.
That's how you recruit girls. Do not recruit girls any other way. Get it started. And if you have any further questions, come at me. I'm going to do a second video.
Were the Tates recruiting women into the online sex trade? Yes. Yes, they were. But were they exploiting these women?
I was all about trying to get paid. Like my whole... I used sex as a tool to make women love me so they'd obey me and live in my house and make me money. That's what I wanted. So I was a pimp in that sense. Like I was not trying to have sex with women. I was trying to get women to obey me. And I realized that's easier if they like to have sex with me. If they don't like having sex with me, it's pretty hard to make them listen to me.
They earned a lot, but they weren't working for money. They were working because they liked me. They respected me. They wanted my attention. They wanted to end up as my main girl, the girl who had my kids, whatever it is their dream was. So they work and work away, and I keep large percentages of the money. That's one of the reasons I got so rich in this business.
Imagine having to be so pathetic that you can't genuinely get a woman to respect you outside of sleeping with her. I mean, and we're supposed to think you guys are men. Listen, I get women to listen to me, and I don't have to have sex with them. I'm sure some of you guys in the chat right now who are probably in leadership positions at your jobs, or you're in certain positions, or maybe in your life or local communities or whatever, you can get a woman to listen to you, all right, and to do things for you without having to have sex with her. Imagine these guys, the only way to get a woman to respect them, okay, and obey them in their terminology is they have to manipulate them by sleeping with them. And to sleep with them, they have to manipulate them to get to the point of sleeping with them. And then after they sleep with them, they have to keep manipulating them to go ahead and garner that respect from them and that obedience from them. You guys can't genuinely, that's right, because you go up and talk to anybody who's outside of your bullshit in the real world, they're going to laugh you off the stage. You're going to say, these guys, they're ridiculous. Why would I respect you? You guys are clowns. I mean, it makes so much sense. There are numerous of people out here right now who can get women to listen to them without having to have sex with them. You guys are just admitting you're pathetic. This is just sad all around.
Were they exploiting these women? Yes. Yes, they were. And if any of the girls in question hadn't turned 18 yet, the means by which the Tates recruited and exploited these children is irrelevant. Although they have both made it abundantly clear how they recruited these girls. Still not convinced? Well, sometimes people need to have things spelled out for them in black and white. So here's the archived web pages for Tate's PhD course that he took down from his website, along with a payment link that is still active. Let's read the page together. My job was to get women to fall in love with me. Literally, that was my job. My job was to meet a girl, go on a few dates, sleep with her, test if she's quality, get her to fall in love with me to the point she'd do anything I say, and then get her on webcam so we could become rich together.
It's on his website, yo. I mean, you tater tots are so pathetic. I'm sorry. Every time I look at this, bro, because this clip is going around. It's going gangbusters. It's everywhere right now on the internet, all right? I'm telling you right now, dog. Every time I see this, it's on his website where he basically is breaking down how he's a trafficker. All right, I get girls to fall in love with me. And after they fall in love with me, I get them to make money for me. All right, and I take all the money. And you guys are saying, well, Duke, show me the evidence. Huh? What are you reading? Are you capable of, using Google or the internet? I'm sorry. If you just type in Andrew Tate indictment records, you're gonna find something guaranteed. What do we do? Jesus.
Is this how you treat someone you've declared to love? Well, see, you have to understand, Tate never loved any of these girls.
Most men look at a girl and they want to fuck her because she's beautiful. I will state with conviction, besides James Bond and Andrew fucking Tate, we're the last two people on the planet who will look at a beautiful woman and think, I have to fuck her so that she tells me what I want to know.
So you compare yourself to James Bond? I mean, the ego on this guy is out of this world.
I have to fuck her so she obeys me. I don't give a shit about having sex with beautiful women. I fuck them so they listen to me, so I can get what I actually want, which is not them. It's a means to an end. Every single Bond girl was exploited.
Time out. There are OnlyFans managers right now that don't have to have sex with the women they're managing in order for them to make money with them, right? So why did you go the extra mile? Are you saying if you genuinely started a OnlyFans management agency or a webcam management agency, Andrew Tate, you're telling me that you can't get women to listen to you unless you have sex with them? Are you that insufferable? Is that what you're trying to say? Like, none of this is making any sense, because there are people who, you say it yourself, Tate, there are a bunch of people that manage OnlyFans webcamming companies in Romania, all right? But why are you getting a charge? Why is it that they got you, all right? And it turns out you're the only one, apparently, that they got evidence on that's manipulating them, which then falls under trafficking, because some of these women wouldn't have been doing this OnlyFans nonsense if you hadn't convinced them to do otherwise, using the power of love, you lover boy fraudster. That's what you did. So why can't you and your brother legitimately own an agency? Why do you have to sleep with these women? Because something's not adding up here. Either you guys are so goddamn insufferable that only time a woman will listen to you is after you've been inside of her, or you guys, the moment you open your mouth, people are going to find out you're pathetic and they're not going to be around you and want to listen to you. Is that what? I don't know what's going on here, but it doesn't make any sense.
That's exactly what I do. When I watch a Bond film and I see him basically pimp a bitch, to me that speaks to my heart. I've been there. I've done that. Anyone who's followed me long enough knows that I first made my $1 million with a webcam business. I have met beautiful women with a good personality and thought, she will make me money. I have to fuck this bitch. I don't want to have sex with her. I just need the money. Bond needs the fucking nuclear codes. Do you understand? I am James Bond.
No, you're not.
Thank God James Bond didn't live long enough to hear this criminal parasite make that comparison to the world's greatest spy.
That's how you know Andrew Tate's a dweeb, too. Like, that's how you know he's a dweeb, bro. You're comparing your criminal enterprise to James Bond. You fucking dweeb, dog. Shut up. I am James Bond. No, you're not. You're a fucking loser that pimps women online because you don't know any other legitimate ways of making money. That's it. I mean, just the comparison enough is just so cringe. It's not even fun. This guy has he's got an ungodly obsession with being looked at as being cool. That's it.
We're going to back up for a second and pick a couple other factoids from the sex trafficking online pimp tutorial that Tate did early on in his career, the one where he's wearing his blue sweater. We've gone through this full hour-long video before to gather the clips we used in the 5-minute synopsis, but here's how Tate tells people he did exactly what he's now claiming he didn't do. He targets vulnerable girls on Instagram and initiates contact using his PhD tactics.
So the recruitment process is the same as the PhD course. You message them on Instagram. The PhD course is my recruitment system.
He doesn't mention webcam, which is his ultimate goal, while her ultimate goal is the relationship he claims to be offering.
I don't mention webcam until after I've had sex with the girl. If you're on dates and you're trying to mention it and shit, it just doesn't work. It puts them off. I'd never do that. That's disgusting. I'm not a whore. It's just not gonna work.
He's letting you know. Okay, listen, it's one thing if the girl wants to be on OnlyFans and do this stuff, fine. That's her decision. She can make that however way she wants. But realistically, if she wouldn't have otherwise done this and you're convincing her to do this, you're a scumbag. Especially using love, you're a scumbag. Okay, so Andrew Tate is basically teaching you how to turn the good girls you guys want bad and then complain about them using the red pill. It doesn't make any sense. The fact that you have to convince her and she has to say, hey, listen, I'm not a whore. What are you doing? Well, I'm not going to do this. Like, you want me to do a webcamming? Like, oh, what kind of nonsense is that? He's letting you know that a lot of these women are going to throw that objection up. But don't worry. It's all part of the game, all right? And y'all don't see a problem with this? Y'all think he's innocent after all this? Yo, her square, shout out to you for the $2 super chat. Wait, in that boom boom clip, was that girl black? Probably. I don't know. It's hard to tell with that violet background. I don't know. Tate's obsession with backgrounds that look like he's in some kind of club scene. It's weird, but maybe if she's black, that's very interesting. Girl at 1855 black. They don't dabble. I don't think she's black. I don't think she's black, bro. I think she just got like. Hold up. Let's actually go back. Maybe she is black. I don't know. I'll pull it up. But I don't think she's black. I think she's just super tan, right? She looked tan because she doesn't have. I don't know if she's black, but we'll pull that up in a second. M Dot with the $5 super chat. Get them W's for M Dot. Shout out to you. Thank you so much. It says it would not be a surprise to me if Tate dad Emery was verbally and or physically abusive towards his mother. Oh, he was. I don't know, physically abusive, but verbally probably. Yeah, because I mean, why else? The guy freaking was a louse. I mean, in the last episode, Common Sense broke down. The guy was a louse. He was moving around, spending his money on gambling, and not on his family. Right? Didn't even have a job, couldn't hold it down. Of course, guys like that. It's right. It's part of their MO. Of course, because when the woman is trying to do something, help with the family, I mean, and knowing fully well they're not going to do anything, it's better for them to bring her down by dehumanizing her and making her feel less than, to prop up their fucking shitty value. That's what a lot of these abusive dads do. And that's why it's not surprising to me she left Chicago and took the Tate brothers to Luton, right? Does that surprise me? No. Because why else? If you're going to be that kind of guy to talk back to your military sergeant, to get demoted from a sergeant to a janitor, and then when you retire, you refuse a pension just because you didn't like the way they talk to you, putting your family at risk. Of course, he's a scumbag, just like his sons. All right? I mean, it just is what it is. I don't care. Like, it is what it is. Hey, call me what you want. I don't care, bro. I tell a scumbag when I see one. I'm sorry. If I do time in the military, all right, and they're offering me a pension when I leave, I'm going to take it. Especially if I have a family, because it's not about me. No matter what issues I have with the military, all right, that's between me and the military. I'm not gonna put that on my family or my kids, and then jeopardize financial income for them. But Tate's dad did that. He said, "Fuck no, I don't want a pension because I don't like the way I was treating the military." Therefore, not being able to be a man and provide for his family, right? And while he wasn't providing for his family, and his mama was, dude was out there gambling and drinking and doing all that nonsense, playing chess. Right, he found all the time in the world to play chess on his wife's dime, not raising the kids, nothing. That's not a good dad, if you ask me, bro. That's someone who's got serious self-esteem and personality issues. Just saying. But shout out to you, M. Dot. I'm not surprised. Like father, like son. Isn't that the old saying, right? You act like your dad, you're gonna be like your son. Right? Or not? What is it? I'm saying it wrong, right? Your dad, you're gonna be like just like your father. You're gonna be like he's gonna be like the son, right? It's like, what is it? The sins of the father is visited upon the son, right? Is that what the saying is? I don't know, right? But it's just. I'm not surprised, M. Dot. I'm really not that he took after his dad, right?
He has sex with the victim under these false pretenses.
You fuck the girl. After you fuck the girl, you do the PhD test.
After the victim became enamored with Tate, he would then take her out to dinner with his groomer, who acts as his salesperson, meaning the top G can't seal this deal by himself.
If she passes the PhD test and she wants to be with you, then you start mentioning things like, yeah, but you're always busy. What if you're doing what? So I'll have a webcam business. Oh, I don't want to do that. So, okay, I know you don't want to do that, but listen, come, let's have a meeting. Let's just talk about it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Fine. But let me explain it to you properly. In fact, I'll bring one of the girls who works for me. Your bottom bitch, the new girl, you go out for fucking a nice dinner. Your bottom bitch is the one who does the selling. You don't do the selling. The girl has to hear from a girl.
While the bottom bitch is selling the victim, Tate is plying her with alcohol, the most frequently used date rape drug in the world.
My girl would sit there and go, oh my God, before this I was a waitress and it was shit, and now I do this and I make so much money, and the guys all love me and they adore me, and on my birthday they send me presents, I get so much money, blah, 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 it's so much fun. Martinis, bang, threesome. Slam them both.
After getting the victim drunk, she is lured into bed for a threesome, and while they're in bed, Tate turns on the camera to live stream on Chatterbait and has men pay to see the girls get drunk and fool around together. In doing so, Tate has already exploited her for money.
The bottom bitch knows. This girl's like, okay, well, I'll try it. Put both girls on camera together the first day, so the new girl can sit there and just sit with the other girl and get drunk. Give them a bottle of vodka. Put on the fucking Chatterbait, 100 tokens per shot. The guys will send loads of money to get the girls drunk because guys like drunk girls. Girls will sit there, get drunk, have a great time. You say it's your new job now. You haven't go to work ever again.
Further,
This is
and
crazy,
this is important,
bro.
if the girl was under 18 years old, both Tate and his bottom bitch have now committed sexual assault on a minor, according to international law, making them both pedophiles. So this video confirms beyond all doubt.
Okay, hey Candace Owens, how does it feel that it's official? All right, under international law, you guys just supported a freaking pedophile, right? I'm sorry, I know you guys like to accuse the left of doing that, but he's a pedophile, him and his brother, and you guys propped him up. All right, the most notorious media, the entity on the right, Tucker Carlson, decided that, you know what, there is no evidence against the Tates. I mean, trafficking. I mean, it's such an expanded term nowadays. Who really knows what the true meaning of being trafficked means, right? How does it feel, Tucker? How does it feel for, holding that torch for the right, okay? the torch of, a pedo like Andrew Tate. So again, when I say, again, I got flack for this last time too as well. A lot of y'all, for some reason, y'all just keep proving me right? Listen, I'm telling you all right now, and I'm not y'all in the chat. I'm talking about the tater tots because they're the ones with the energy to come over here and try to clown me, right? Listen, I'm telling you right now, when I told y'all, okay, that with what Tate's doing right now, basically he's the Jeffrey Epstein for the conservatives, because a lot of conservatives, at least on the right, people on the Republican side, they like to say Epstein is kind of like the guy for the left, the pedophile for the left, right? For a lot of left wingers and whatnot, because he was associated with those types, right? But here's a guy who's a clear pedo like Andrew Tate. All right, it's evidence right now, and more is going to be dropped when all that stuff comes out. Right, he's associated with minors. All right. We have all these right wingers propping them up, Christians, and we got some Islamic guys over here backing them up. What are you gonna say now? What are you gonna say now to people saying, "Hey, this is your Epstein. This guy right here, this guy right here who made money, who sold courses, he's your Epstein. He's the conservative Epstein." Okay, listen, that's what's gonna come out in the near future, guaranteed. That's gonna come out. I mean, think about it. Imagine if this guy got away with, being seen with other political officials and left. Imagine if this guy has a picture with Donald Trump right now, and Donald Trump decides he wants to go ahead and go at it. And is he running? He's running, right? He's probably going to be running from jail. I don't know. We got his mugshot already. People going crazy about that, right? I don't know what's going on with Trump, bro. Is he going to run? He's probably going to run, dog. But still, right? That's like saying if Trump had a photo with Andrew Tate, imagine the kind of criticism he'll be getting from the left, right? Because he is that guy. He's going to be known as the conservative Epstein because he grifted so hard in the conservative space, and a lot of conservatives adopted him, all because of what they agree with him politically, not because of the values he actually didn't share with them. All right, just the political stuff. And it's just so sad to see this happen. Kevon Slims, this shit actually made me laugh. Says Tate need to get his lace fronts like Myron did. Yeah, Myron, I'm gonna tell you this. Myron, whatever he did to his hair, that shit's looking great. Because last time we know, like 2 years ago, dude was balding. All of a sudden now he's got a bunch of hair. So I don't know what's going on, bro. Again, I have never seen a group of guys, a bigger group of guys who care so much about their looks, okay, and yet they want to talk about their macho man. I mean, if you're going bald, just go bald, dog. Well, like, why care so much, dog? Care so much about your looks? I thought women were supposed to be the ones to care about that. It's just everything's so backwards now. I don't understand it. I hit the wall, dog. Shout out to you for the $5 super chat. If Tate came out and said he was a pimp, the tots would still explain it away. Social media cult. They're doing it right now. They're trying to explain it away right now, and it makes zero sense. How can you explain the inexplainable? Right? You can't explain this shit. He's explaining it himself. He's telling you how to be a trafficker. So why try to put words in his mouth? That's what these tater tots are doing, right? You're saying, oh, well, he didn't really mean what he said when he actually said what he said. I don't get it. Again, it's just the denial, and more denial.
One of the crimes that Tate has been accused of. He recruits the girls to make him money by sexually exploiting them.
You're effectively taking girls, teaching them how to make unlimited money from home, and then making sure they give it all to you.
And the method of controls used by Tate include the false lure of a relationship in the beginning, then financial manipulation once they started doing cam work, withholding money from them, withholding contact information from them that could allow them to run away, and physical intimidation, which we'll get into later when we meet Tate's female accomplices.
Let's go.
This video also demonstrates other crimes Tate could be charged with in the future. Tate proudly announces that the reason why he used Chaturbate as a website is because they pay out in Bitcoin.
The website you were going to use is Chaturbate. Chaturbate is how you're going to get rich, because they will pay you in Bitcoin. No fucking tax, none of that shit. So don't worry about any of that. None of that's going to come back to get you.
Tate believes and tells his pupils that by cashing out in cryptocurrency instead of fiat, he doesn't have to declare it as income, which is textbook tax evasion. And as Tate is infamous for saying, his real wealth came as a result of webcams.
I've always said this too, because especially when we were going through that video, I'm like, isn't this illegal? Like this has to be illegal on some scale, bro. Like there's no way you're just casually bragging about evading taxes and someone not point at it and say, yeah, you breaking some kind of code somewhere. I don't care what country you're in, some code is being broken here. Like I don't know how you Tate can just hear somebody saying things and common sense just gets tossed out the window.
Not by any other means. So whatever wealth he claims to have should have been subjected to tax. Another clip from the video has Tate telling his subscribers the following as another means of control.
Tax is also another important element for controlling your woman. You're not going to pay anybody tax because you're getting paid in Bitcoin, but you need to tell your girl that you're paying the tax. If they don't believe you or they want to get fresh or whatever, print out some tax forms. I used to do this all the time. I used to print out some random tax forms and say, yeah, sign here, sign this. What is it? It's for the tax. You want to pay the tax or not? Okay. And they just sign away. You know what the fucking signing. I'll throw them away afterwards. But they think something's happening. Something real's happening. Nothing's happening. It's like me getting rich, bitch. Anyway, so tax is another important element to keep control of the girl.
More self-snitching, this time regarding the destruction of business documents. Signed tax forms, which Tate made some girls sign only to throw away in the trash, which in itself is a minor offense compared to the broader implication of that act. Tate, by his own reports, had up to 75 women working in 4 different locations at one point in time, making him, he says, millions of dollars.
You need to set aside some of your profit for consulting, and that consulting money is going to be. I'm telling you. I had 75 girls. 75. So if you're making $30,000 a month, you need to say, you know what, $5,000 or $6,000 a month I'm going to spend on flying Tate here, or speaking to Tate on Skype and asking how I can make more money from the girls I've got. How can I expand? I let him come see my setup. I'm being completely honest with you guys. You guys are serious about the money. I know this fucking game.
The total number of girls that came through his studios is unknown, but let's assume the number 75 includes all of them. These girls were all under the false impression that Tate had been paying proper taxes on their earnings on their behalf. Tate's declaration of what they made per month is all over the map, from thousands to...
Even when I wasn't even sure, when we started covering Tate, right? And I wasn't even sure if they were going to get him on trafficking, right? We weren't even sure if they were going to get him on that. Because, we need you got to have more proof. But then over time, as more evidence dropped out and more videos were put in context, right? It started to make sense that this guy was likely a trafficker. The one thing I didn't understand was I was like, okay, here's the thing. I'm not sure if they're going to get him on a trafficking part, but they're definitely going to get him on the tax evasion part, because you're lying to other women who are also generating revenue on their own, okay? So they're supposed to be taxed, but they're not. But you're lying to them and saying that they are in order to take more money. But we know that the more money you're taking for them isn't going to pay the taxes. Hell, isn't even going to pay your overall LLC's tax, all right? It's going towards your pocket. You're not paying taxes. So that right there is a problem. And the fact that you just robbed these girls of their cash is also a problem, because they just realized they didn't pay Uncle Sam for all that revenue they generated. So I don't get how y'all can't see. Like this is what's so frustrating about tater tots. It's like this stuff is so evident. He stole from the girls. They didn't pay taxes. They're liable. He didn't pay taxes. He's also liable. Like, it's right there, chat. It's all right there. Shout out to Glassy Eyes for the $2 super chat. Glassy Eyes says, do you plan on covering the Anton Fleece Johnson? Yeah, that's coming up. All that's coming up, man. Listen, I'm telling you, we got a jam-packed content week, all right, coming up. It's gonna be crazy because the Anton's crazy. Anton, Angry Man, we got all that stuff coming up. Y'all see, I was on Angry Man's stream the other day, and this dude, I swear to God, bro, every time Angry Man goes off on race, it's always the most hilarious thing. It's hilarious and sad at the same time. The reason why is because you can tell he has no idea what he's talking about, but it's sad is because they're real world examples where this happens and he is just oblivious to it. Why? Because he wants to be a conservative grifter. And it's just so sad, like parroting a lot of the talking points from a lot of these conservatives. Meanwhile, knowing fully well they don't give a shit about you. Look at Jacksonville, literally a guy who murdered 3 black people in Jacksonville and had an actual manifesto detailing how much he hated black people and all these other, amongst all the other reasons, right? And for Angry Man to go up there on his live stream on the day it happened, literally just talking about, yeah, racism, black folks, you guys just make it up. No black folks alive right now have actually ever dealt with racism. How can you fucking say that, dog? You sound like an idiot. No black, wait, you're trying to say that when black, because what he's trying to do is he's labeling pro-blacks and he's trying to paint everyone who cares about genuine black issues, he's trying to paint them in one category as pro-blacks, all right? And for those guys who are in the know, I know my audience is diverse, but pro-black is like a different subsection, right? Listen, you can care about black issues, you can care about systemic injustice without having to go crazy with it, but you're lumping everyone as pro-black. No, because now you're denying that racism still exists. You're denying that. You're amongst those guys now. You're in that kind of camp. And you can't get mad when people are saying, hey, bruh, all right, well, I guess you're not really black then, Angry Man. You're more Latino. And then you get mad about it. But why? You over here shitting on black people, denying racism. And it's just like, I can't. No, that's a different episode. That's coming. I can't stand these guys, bro. It's not like that. Listen, one thing I like about Angry Man is he'll talk to you, right? Even if you criticize him. So it is what it is. It's just that he's so wrong on his talking points. And then he gets mad and blames everybody else for his bullshit. It's like, how can you do that? You can't sit there and deny racism, be the leader of the black manosphere, all right? And then get mad when your own freaking constituents are telling you, hey, dog, we're black and we experienced that shit. How you getting mad at them? That don't make sense. This dude, bro. This dude. Let's get it. Let's continue.
Millions per month.
So my best ever girl used to make between $1,500 and $2,500 a day. Every day. And she made most of this money from the same 4 or 5 guys.
People would say, why did those girls work for you? Because the girls would work for me and at 50%, because it was 50-50, would make millions per month. If they worked for themselves, they'd make fucking nothing. I was the best in the fucking game.
And all those girls thought they were all square with the government on that money. However, by Tate's admission, not 1 cent was paid to any government on that income. Not by him and not by them.
I don't know what the fucking signing. Let's throw them away afterwards. But they think something's happening. Something real's happening. Nothing's happening besides me getting rich, bitch.
Meaning, instead of just 1 count of income tax evasion, you can tack on 75 or more counts of tax fraud. And suddenly, visions of Al Capone's downfall come to mind.
You're happy because you got nothing.
They're gonna get
you
him
got
on
nothing
tax.
caught. You don't got the bookkeeper. You got nothing. Nothing. And if you were a man, you would have done it now. You don't got a thing, you punk.
I told you guys, at the very least, man, they're gonna get this clown on tax evasion. At the very freaking least, man, he's going down on tax evasion. But I think there's more than enough evidence to get him on the to get him on the trafficking part. I think there's way more than enough. So now we about to get into part 2, all right? Because this is part of a two-part series, all right? And it's not even the end of this, all right? Because there's more. There's a finale coming out. And listen, I'm already knowing it's going to be fire. Antonio Winchon with the $5 super chat. Shout out to you. He says, "Sup, dude? Can you do a live stream on the debate between Coach Red Pill and Destiny, and also the debate between Angry Man and Destiny? Good content there." When did that happen? Was that a while ago? Is Coach Red Pill? I gotta check that out. Let me check that out, and then if it is it, we'll do a stream on it if it's good. But yeah, shout out to you. Thank you for the super chat. Let's get to part 2 of this unraveling here of the Tate Matrix.
As we've noted before, Luana Radu is a 32-year-old former Romanian police sub-inspector from Police Station 7 in Bucharest, turned webcam model, who had corrupt colleagues working out local precincts, returning runaway girls to her if they ever ran away from the Tate house. Luana's Instagram porn alter ego account, Ellie Deli, has no photos left intact. They've all been deleted. but it is still active, complete with the direct link to connect with her on Chatterbait, which demonstrates how the system Tate described was designed to work. Their individual and combined roles in the Tate criminal organization as Tate's angels were that of bottom bitches, the women who controlled the accounts of the girls now working on OnlyFans and kept the models working on camera using threats and acts of violence. Their role also included grooming new nervous girls and getting them started online on TikTok to generate a subscription base of men that would then follow them over to OnlyFans, where they would engage in sex acts for money. Both women faced charges alongside the brothers of human trafficking and intent to create a criminal organization for the purpose of human trafficking. The female accomplices, according to the court documents, qualify as human traffickers using the transporting victims through threats of violence for the purpose of sexual exploitation trifecta. And as a bonus point, the girls also subjected the victims to forced labor. The interesting thing about how charges were laid with regards to the bottom bitches is that they each have a larger number of material counts against them than either of the brothers. Georgiana collected 6 material acts of human trafficking.
Damn!
Joanna collected 5. Andrew collected 4. And Tristan only collected 3. Despite him saying,
Whoa! Does anyone know? I think these girls are gonna flip. There's no way, especially knowing if the brother's gonna do, they got less counts than you did. Oh, they're gonna flip. Somebody's flipping. Whoa! That is crazy. Mudeep, shout out to you. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Mudeep says, Angry Man is a straight clown. This is like the 5th time I'm saying it. Yeah, it's getting ridiculous, bro. And he's just lashing out at everybody. It's like, bro, you can't get mad, dog, with people saying you're not really black if you're shitting on black people and blaming them for societal shit. Like, it's crazy, bro. This guy's, we got to cover that. And I actually called in to that live stream, but I guess it was too late. I mean, I guess he was signing off, so it is what it is. But I'd let it be known. It's like, bro, you're shitting on black folks right now while denying racism, knowing fully well there was a guy that just murdered a bunch of black folks because he hates them. So you saying racism doesn't exist while a real world example is going on is so stupid, man. It's not even funny. CD, shout out to you for the $10 super chat. CD says, Angry Man is another schizo willing to change overnight to chase a cheap buck. Unless he scrubbed his channel, you can find debates against right-wingers where he speaks on the reality of racism. Yeah, he's going towards a conservative grift now. It's all, I'm telling you, that's what I've been saying. The conservatives are getting a stranglehold on the manosphere, okay? That's where it's going. A lot of these guys, you're going to see them repeating conservative talking points or Republican talking points. And the thing is, right, and I got to be careful here how I use so I don't use Republican and conservative interchangeably, because you can be a conservative and you don't have to be a Republican, right? So I know there are a lot of people out there who live their lives as conservatives. So I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to guys who signed on the Republican agenda, right? That's what Angry Man is doing. They're trying to like go with this. I don't know if there's going to be a political wave or a red wave. Y'all expecting another red wave so you can grift off of this, but it's getting disgusting at this point, bro. To just be, especially black folks, just adopting all these talking points, knowing fully well these guys don't fuck with you. It's crazy, and you're seeing them do that with Muslims now, right? Before, right wingers hated Muslims. Okay, I mean, come on, they don't like Muslims. The whole 9/11 after that, bro, how they destabilized multiple new Muslim nations. All right, how they caused a bunch of freaking wars and terrorists to break out, right? And all of a sudden they're like, hey, you know what, you guys agree with us politically, right? You know, women shouldn't get abortions, and people, you shouldn't teach LGBTQ stuff in schools, right? So how about you and us team up, right? I know we bombed your country and destabilized a bunch of your people, but how about you come join us, all right, in this plight to ban LGBTQ being taught in our schools? It's like, huh? And there's a bunch of people doing it, which is scary, bro. There's a bunch of Muslims who are saying, you know what? Yeah, politically I align with you, so let's just join forces. It's like these guys don't give a fuck about you. They don't like you. In addition to women, in addition to all these other things they talk about black folks and all this, they don't like y'all. Okay, as soon as they're done using you to get in power, they'll forget about you. All right, it's just how it is, and it's just so sad to see this go on. But yeah, we're seeing all these guys in a red pill, and they're converting a lot of these black folks and getting them to vote for people that in all actuality, they don't give a fuck about your self-interest, and they never had. All right, it's all a scam, and it's just so sad to see it happen. But I don't care anymore. It is what it is, though.
Either of the brothers. Georgiana collected 6 material acts of human trafficking. Luana collected 5. Andrew collected 4, and Tristan only collected 3, despite him saying he was the lead recruiter in the adult industry.
I have recruited, I think, although you've worked with a lot, more girls into, I guess, the adult entertainment industry than anyone else. I really have.
However, because these material acts were combined into a singular, more severe charge, all 4 criminals now face the same charge of human trafficking in a continued form. Out of all 4 of these human diseases, Georgiana is the one who racked up the largest list of charges. On top of her other crimes, she has the added charge of assault or other acts of violence on her sheet, which correspond to the additional charge Tristan has on his sheet of instigation to commit acts of violence against the victim, meaning authorities have proof that Tristan instructed Luana and Georgiana to do physical harm to one or more of the victims. The 2 bottoms have been recorded making serious threats against girls for not making enough content, but this charge may stem from an incident involving one girl in particular who was thrown out in the cold by Georgiana, as Andrew Tate brags about in post calling Gio a total gangster. This victim, initials PCD, was being groomed by both Georgiana and Luana at the TikTok phase of this process and had a falling out with Georgiana with regards to the fact that PCD was already not getting paid for what she posted. She told Gio that she wanted to quit and leave the house. After a discussion with TT, Tristan Tate, where he suggested the victim move into the same house as him, Georgiana falsely accused the victim of being a prostitute and told her that she could leave. However, when they saw she really wanted out, both Tristan and Gio started demanding sums of money from her, which are recorded in the indictment as false debt. They told her that she owed them €2,000, then €5,000, blackmailing her with the sums spent on her breast implants to make sure that she didn't leave. The victim started crying and told them that she was going to go to the police. But Luana Radu, RL, told the victim that she had relations in the police and DICOT and that nothing could happen to her because she previously worked in the gendarmerie. The victim went upstairs to pack her things and was assaulted by Georgiana, who grabbed her by the neck and pushed her under a desk, then grabbed her by the hand and dragged her out of the house half naked.
Damn.
The victim was brought some clothes.
Yo, she is a freaking witch. What is wrong with this woman?
And her purse was flown by another victim with initials AMA, who, along with the other girls in the house, saw all of this unfold. The victim called a friend named Victor for help, and he advised her to go to the police. She did, and filed a complaint with one of Luana's former colleagues, who told her to reconcile with them. Then he called Georgiana and Luana to the station. When they returned, they brought a small bag of clothing, which they threw in the victim's face, and they kept the rest of the victim's belongings, including her laptop, jewelry, and credit cards. To this day, the victim has not recovered any of these kept items. Another witness, initials ASA, is on record as saying when Georgiana dragged the victim out of the house by her arm, Georgiana had said it was with the intent of ripping out the fresh stitches in her breast surgery, the goal being to damage the operation and cause the victim pain without leaving any physical marks on her.
Wow, bro, she's evil. And this is all condoned by the Tates. She's evil, bro. That's crazy.
The same witness and other girls in the house were then told to bag up whatever possessions the victim still had in the house and then hide them in the attic. Luana also told this victim how her connections in the police department would make sure that nothing ever happened to her. Now, it would seem that is no longer the case.
Nah, hey, throw the book at her. Especially the cop. Throw the book at her. She's got to go. You are a cop, bro. So you know, you were on both sides. So you got to go. You're in danger, bro. And you know what? I hope it gets worse for you in jail. I hope them inmates, I don't know how female inmates get down in those prisons, but I'm pretty sure if you got a hand in putting some of those women away, they should do whatever they need to do with you. Because you can't be playing both sides. You can't be playing both sides, bro, and then use the color of the law to go ahead and facilitate your crime organization, or using your connections to keep people from coming forward and seeking help. You are a scumbag. You're the worst. You need to go for. Matter of fact, I take it back. She needs to go to jail longer than the Tates because she knew what she was doing. You swore an oath to provide and protect, and you used. Wow, bro. Yeah, get her out of here. Get her out of here.
Since these two female enforcers are also facing decades behind bars based on these statements.
Fate, it seems.
is not without a sense
Get
of
him out of here, dog. Get him out. That's horrible.
Georgiana is also accused in indictment paragraph 3.3 of gaining unauthorized access to a computer system by using a victim's password to access her social media accounts, and in paragraph 3.4 of modifying that account by inserting photographs capturing the injured person engaged in pornographic activities, garnering her an offense of data integrity alteration. According to private conversations being held in the War Room chat, Tate confirms that Georgiana was recruited into the bottom bitch position for him in June of 2021, as he was trying to break another one of the girls he had recruited.
This is crazy.
The other major charge on this indictment that covers all 4 defendants is for forming an organized criminal group, which would mean each of them have contributed in some fashion to the operation to conduct their criminal affairs. From the translated formal indictment press release, it was held that in early 2021, the 4 defendants formed an organized criminal group with a view to committing the crime of trafficking in persons on the territory of Romania, but also in other countries such as the United States and the United Kingdom. Here's the perfect example.
Bro, she looks evil. Wait, yeah, there's the same person. Yeah, they look evil, bro. These look like witches, bro. They don't look like normal women you want to be around. They got problems. She's the one that's a cop, right? Yeah, she needs to get locked up for a while.
Of these people working in tandem together, received just this morning on August 24th. Court filed evidence posted on a Twitter account for Milk Bar TV. Chat logs between Tristan, Luana, and Georgiana, where the 3 of them were plotting together as to what to do with the victim who tried to quit, but was instead thrown out of the house into the cold with nothing. It starts with Luana informing the group that the victim was not going to work for them anymore on OnlyFans. Tristan says he'll fire her, but Georgiana gets violent straight away. I want my money back or I'll cut her breasts. Tristan tells the bottoms to kick her out and take her stuff. Keep all her things, he says, but leave the breasts alone because they cost him 1,500 euros. Looks like he gets a bulk discount from his local plastic surgeon. Luana pipes up that the victim owes them 4,000 euros. Doesn't say what for. Tristan, both of you go, kick her out of the house. Hit her if necessary, I don't care. Don't let her take her things. And Luana agrees. Tristan continues to say, keep all the victim's things in Georgiana's car so that the victim can't retrieve them and one of the other girls can't give them to her. Throw her out with nothing. Georgiana, you've seen me do this 10 times.
Lock him up. Lock him up too. If there's proof that Tristan was out here whipping girls, get him out of here too. I mean, I don't know why Andrew Tate is trying to make it seem like Tristan is some kind of innocent actor in this. Okay, this is what he's doing behind the scenes. He's over here beating girls up when they don't pay attention or when they don't listen to him. Okay, yeah, go ahead and catch these hands too. Like, geez, what is going on? He's done it 10 times, or is he exaggerating? Like, either way, this is not looking good. These guys are looking like they were running a serious. Imagine like a pimp house, right, where you go in and there are a bunch of rooms with girls doing nothing else but making you money, right? And if one of those girls, maybe their revenue isn't up to par, or maybe they're not listening or doing something else, you send in your enforcers like some of these wicked witch of the West, and they go around dragging them by their arms to fuck with their stitching so it doesn't leave marks. I mean, all this stuff is very calculated, because then if they run to the cops, well, they already got a girl working for them who's also a former cop. She still got connections that she flaunts about, so those girls aren't even going to get the help. So if the woman says, oh, well, she was hurting me, she tried to cause pain and whatnot, and they say, well, where's the hurt? Where's the pain? I don't see anything. All right, well, it hurts on my breast implants. Well, how do we know that wasn't part of your original operation, right? And well, before you know it, these guys get off scot-free. These guys are monsters. This is just evil. Okay, it's calculated, right, to make. Oh my God, you can go so deep into this. This is crazy. They all deserve what's coming to them. Real talk. Coach still says, dukendon, I thought that you were for justice. Why would you advocate for mob justice in prison? Doesn't sound very impartial. I'm sorry, bro. Listen, I like justice, but if you traffic children or traffic women and do things that are horrible, I don't care what happens to you in prison. That's why I don't go there. Okay, because I don't do things to end up there. All right, I'm not in one of these operations. And I know, listen, because it's prison has their own set of justice. They have their own set of rules. So we can have our justice here, but everybody knows what's gonna happen to you if you're some kind of pedo in jail. It's not a hidden secret. It's a thing that happens. There are a lot of people who have a strong sense of morality, even though they're criminals, that they decide, hey, I know I've killed people, but raping kids or raping women or even trafficking underage teenagers and things like that, that's even worse. Okay, so they'll exact justice on you. It's not me saying it, it's the law of the land when you go there. So you don't go there and you don't do those things, right? So it's not even advocating for justice. It's just knowing that if you're a pedo, you're gonna face some serious experiences in prison, bro, if you're not killed first. Okay, that's their justice. So whatever Luana and these guys are, if they're out here using the color of the badge to screw over victims who would have otherwise came forward, all right, I'm sorry, bro. Whatever happens to you in prison, because she sure as hell didn't have a problem throwing other people in jail, and whatever happened to them, right? I mean, think about it. Just think about it for a second.
Go and do it now, both of you. Both bottoms tell Tristan they're on their way to deal with this, and Georgiana tells Tristan they're going to do a good cop, bad cop routine on her. This is an organized attack on the victim, coordinating assault and battery and theft against her, multiple people each playing their role. An organized criminal group. Another great example of the coordination required between group members is right here in the instructional videos that Andrew Tate sold online, describing how he works with his bottom to groom new girls from their very first group meeting together. He does not do this on his own.
Let me explain it to you properly. In fact, I'll bring one of the girls who works for me. Your bottom bitch is the one who does the selling. You don't do the selling. The girl has to hear it from a girl. And this is where your bottom bitch has to be trained. That's why I said it's so important to have a good first girl.
He finds the girls to lure them into a relationship, but when it's time to convert the girl into a sex worker, he requires his female counterpart to finish the job for him.
When I bring on new girls, I usually pair them with Vivian. Because Vivian's younger. Melissa's like 28. Vivian's like 21. Vivian's younger. She's more fun, more outgoing. Melissa's really quite, not in a bad way. She's more homey.
So here we have Tate and his bottom bitch, which for at least 6 years was Vivian, who was then replaced by Georgiana, working in tandem to break the victim's resistance to doing webcam work. Then Tristan is also funneling girls he lured into the system as well, presumably using the same tactics as his brother, a brother with whom he shares everything equally: the income, the houses, and the proceeds from their ongoing criminal enterprise.
Every penny that me and Andrew make goes into joint bank accounts. We've shared all of our resources forever, since we had no money to now we have a lot of money.
Tristan would likely have his own girl to seduce a drunken victim into bed with him, otherwise he would be sleeping with his brother's bottom bitch to recruit the victims. That being the case, Tristan's bottom bitch was probably Luana. And that's pretty much how the brothers refined their system after 75 girls turned out to be too much of a headache.
So the most girls at any one point, I had 4 premises and I had 75 girls on the books. When I started, the girls worked for me because they loved me, right? That's the old school pimp game, isn't it? I love this man. We're on our way.
Yo, he's using terminologies, dog. Like, come on.
To the top together. We're going to go Maldives. We're making all this money. You know, it's the old school dream. But when you get too big, you can't have all these girls in love with you. I mean, you can only fuck so much. Like, we're all human, right? People think it's easy, right? It's not easy. You need equipment. You need sort out the tax, the banking. You need to know how to handle the guys. It's not easy to do. So I cut down to like a special forces team of around 8 girls. And that's where I made my most money. When I had 4 girlfriends, my brother had 4 girlfriends, me and my brother, 8 women living in one house. And all the women adored us and they obeyed us. And at the peak, I was turning over $400,000 a month.
With 8 girls?
With 8 girls, yeah.
He's all sleeping with the same girls?
No, so he had his 4, I had my 4. We don't mix. We don't mix.
Andrew and his 4 girlfriends lived in the same house with Tristan and his 4 girlfriends doing webcam. The girls did the online sex work, and the men raked in the money. In addition to the other charges, Andrew Tate is independently charged with rape in a case that had not been previously investigated. This case involves a Moldovan woman whom Andrew Tate met online in January through Instagram. After she arrived in Romania, Andrew Tate raped her twice to break her down to enlist her into his pornography operation. Authorities have all the communications between Tate and this victim and believe they support criminal charges. Initially, Tate was charged with multiple counts of rape, but when the December charges were reassessed in June of 2023, these 2 rape allegations were combined into a new, more serious charge of rape in a continuous form. The 86-page English version synopsis of charges against the Tates and their organization filed in January of 2023 provide not only the chat logs between the victim and Andrew Tate going back to February of 2022, but also the details she provided to authorities about how, when, and where Tate raped her. The document is Google translated from Romanian court documents, and on occasion, they present that way, with incorrect pronouns or words that are laid out awkwardly, and it isn't linear in a timeline, but we'll work with what we've got here, starting on page 39. Also, the initials of people mentioned are arranged surname given name, so John Smith would be SJ instead of JS, as an example. The victim is notated as UA in the document body, but AU in the chat logs. Tate is notated.
This was the one because we read this too, and a lot of the tater tots said that it was fake because of how everything was flipping and whatnot, and they didn't realize a lot of the stuff is either being translated or they just use initials, right? And that's the thing, because one minute, because Andrew Tate's not even Andrew's name, right? It's Emery Tate, right? So it's crazy because you'll see different initials for his name, but a lot of the tater tots, they'll say, "Oh no, it's just fake. It's fake because that's not really Andrew Tate." See how is he AT here and ET here, right? Doesn't make any sense, right? So again, y'all got to understand how they do their thing, and a lot of the stuff is translated too. Guyanese Fritz Harlem, shout out to you for the $2 super chat. It says they're working for a criminal group in Romania. Yeah, it's the Dorofite brothers are the mafia group in Romania that they're working with. One of them's in custody, and the other one is I think he's in Dubai or some shit like that. But yeah, they're legit mafia connected, dog. Again, allegedly, they may have been hiding bodies. We don't know.
Consistently between TA, Andrew Tate, and TAE for Emery Tate Andrew. In the chat logs, he is identified as E for Emery. Remember how we told you back in part 1 that Andrew Tate wasn't really named Andrew Tate? This is a time where that becomes important. The relationship between Tate and his victim began at the end of January 2022, when Tate fished her off her Instagram profile. The chats turned romantic, enough so that they met in London when the victim came to visit Tate. After going out for dinner, Tate started working her over with his lure of a serious relationship, which apparently worked well enough to get her into bed. After a week-long tryst, Tate told her he couldn't stay in London any longer, so the victim went back to Moldova. But Tate told the victim to come and visit him in Romania afterwards, which she agreed to, and she was put in touch with Georgiana Nagal, who bought the plane ticket for her that transported that victim to Romania. The relevant chat logs between the two, taken from Tate's WhatsApp account, predate this affair starting on February 4th, where Tate is already telling this woman he's just met that he'll be the last man in her life if she's loving enough to be his wife, ride or die, and that she'd have to move to Romania to be with him. He's telling her things like, "You are mine, do not forget that, and act like it. We will be together soon." He starts making plans to relocate her to Romania, and she asks him flat out, "But can I trust you?" Just to stop here for a sec, if you have to ask somebody if you can trust them, you probably can't. If your spidey sense is already going off to the point where you even need to ask that question, you should turn around and walk away. This next section...
That's facts, right? That's facts. And, again, it's one of those things where those red flags that you miss, right? If you got to question certain things about, the commitment level of other people, it's probably for the best you don't pursue that further, right? Because it's your mind naturally telling you there's a problem here, right? And that's the issue. The girl's putting up all these objections because she knows something's wrong. And to be honest, it's like it makes sense because like there's this guy who looks like a millionaire, multimillionaire, living his life, right? Why would he want with some random girl that he found on Instagram? Right? It doesn't make any sense. He's all of a sudden telling her he loves her. He's doing all these things. It's very confusing. But for a lot of girls who don't have money, right? A lot of girls who don't come from the best backgrounds, all right? When it's obviously they recognize that, but they're looking at it's like too good to be true moment until you get guys like Andrew Tate flying them over and making all the plans and whatnot. It's hard not for them not to get swept up in it, especially if they're coming from a damaged background, right? So that's the one thing a lot of people got to wake up to. This lover boy shit is real, and there are a lot of guys out there getting ready to take advantage of desperate people, no matter what. The Great Pill, shout out to you for the $5 super chat. It says, with this individual, a textbook narcissist. A textbook narcissist is arrogant, manipulative, and lacks empathy. Pretty easy to spot, right? Exactly. You would think it'd be the easiest thing to watch. But I guess in the modern age of today, that's the cool thing, right? Being an Andrew Tate is what you want. It's what it's the quintessential man you want to aspire to. And it's just sad how masculinity is completely flipped, right? On one side, they're telling you to be feminine. On the other side, they're telling you to be a guy like Andrew Tate. It's crazy. You don't have guys saying, hey, just be you, bro. That's it. You don't have people telling you that anymore, right? It's just sad to see how far extreme society has gotten on both sides. I mean, it's happening to women, it's happening to men, but we're covering the men right now, and it's not looking good, right? I mean, this is just pathetic, seeing that the ultimate example of a modern-day man is an Andrew Tate. Oh, man. Dark times ahead, people. Dark times ahead. Wake up.
And however, should not have only set off alarm bells for her, but also every person who's ever given Tate money needs to listen up here. The victim saw the videos online of Tate selling his online pimp tutorials, and she asked him about them. This is what he told her. Remember the communications the Romanian police were using in their money laundering investigation against the Tates? This is where that transcript comes from. It's going to be read verbatim because these 24 lines are loaded with all the worms that crawl around in Tate's head. You're not stupid, and you probably guess how I make so much money. I have to hide what I really do. Webcam, she asks. Yes, he answers. For a long time, I did this with a team of girls who worked on video chat. The company was fake, but that's how I wash my dirty money. After that, men started to be jealous and started asking me, how can I start a video chat business? They will never do this because they are losers, but they like the idea. So I started charging men to teach them. That's what those videos are about. It's all a cover. You understand? And she answers yes. Now it goes deeper. Some of the girls that work for me, I use them to do other things, to move money or illegal things, documents, etc. I will never do that with you, but I need those girls for work sometimes. Money stuff. When I said earlier that I need a woman to not hide things from, that's what I meant. If you know the girls, I want you to be really cool with them. Friendly. You are on my team to help me. You don't need details about any of this. What I want is to trust me and do as I say, and I will always take care of you. Nothing bad will happen, but you have to be on my side. To recap, the webcam enterprise is a cover that allows Tate to laundry his dirty money, but because losers wanted to learn how to do it, he decided to make money off them by putting together those videos. The victim is told she just needs to trust him, she doesn't need to know the details, and nothing bad will happen to her because she'll be the wife and all the other girls just work for him. Apparently, that explanation worked. Her move to Romania happened in March of 2022, after Tate told her to plan her flight as soon as possible. He probably wouldn't be there when she arrived, but his assistant Georgiana would take care of her until he came back. And that's what happened. The victim flew in, Georgiana picked her up at the airport, and took her back to where the victim would be living. It was not as advertised. The chat logs from 4:30 in the morning of March 2nd, 2022 show the victim's confusion. I'm in a house with some girls who work for G. I said I will stay with G. I feel a little weird. And G said you're probably coming in 5 days? It's too much. I wish you'd tell me things like they are so I know what's going on. What exactly do these girls do? I thought I was coming and we would be together. I understand that it happens things, but you have to talk to me and tell me so that I don't feel weird then.
This is someone who's starting to realize they've been bamboozled, right? What they bought isn't what they paid for. This is it right here. And now, although she probably should have realized that a lot sooner, and she did, is just Tate put up a lot of bullshit to quell her concerns, right? Until it got too late, until the elephant in the room got too damn big to ignore. Hey, these women, they're moving around. It seemed like they're in operation here. All right. You told me I was going to be here to marry you, but honestly, I'm starting to think that I might actually be recruited to be here like one of these girls. What are they doing, bro? I feel like I'm left out. Okay. This, guys, you tater tots out there. Okay. This is the lover boy method. This is the final form when we talk about trafficking here, okay? It's not about chains. It's not about bondage. It's not about even necessarily about a lot of physical abuse, even though that happened here, right? Sometimes it's a lot of coercion, deception, manipulation into play. The girl at this point is still being lied to by the Tates. She hasn't been told the full story on why she's here. Hence, the reason why what Tate is doing is considered a form of human trafficking. Because look at what he's doing. These girls wouldn't have been doing this. They wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for him encouraging it to do. I mean, you guys got to wake up, man. You tater tots, you got to wake up and get educated.
His response, you don't have to feel weird. I come home as fast as I can. You know I work. Again, she asks, what are these girls doing anyway? I feel stupid for not knowing. I should know, so that I can talk to them and not say something stupid or offend them in any way. He tells her they're doing OnlyFans, bikini and underwear, he tells her, and they make a lot of money doing it. She texts him again at midnight the following day. I want to know why you brought me here to this house. If you respected me, you'd ask me first if I was okay with this. I thought I would come here to live with you. I could stay in London until you return to Romania. I know you have a lot on your mind right now, but my sister is telling me to go back to London because she thinks I'm not safe here. And I'm very confused. I want to know what your plan is. 6 days later, there's no indication that she has seen Andrew since her arrival, but one of the girls with initials B, perhaps Beatrice, wanted her to go on TikTok with her. Tate encouraged her to do that under a false name, and at 6:30 the next day, Tate indicates he watched the clip saying he saw her bouncy breasts and cute smile on TikTok. By March 11th, Georgiana was already pushing the victim to start up her own fake TikTok account. The victim told Tate she doesn't want to work for Georgiana and wanted to talk with Tate first. Tate starts pushing her to open up her own account to keep all the money for herself, with the grander plan of the two of them buying a house together in Romania, and he sends her a real estate link of the house to lure her.
He's still lying. He's still lying even after all of that. So you tater tots out there are saying, well, if she didn't like it, why didn't she just leave? How would you leave? How would you leave? He's still selling the dream to you. He's sending you pictures of the house. He's saying, oh, don't believe that, but this is what's really happening. You can do this unless you don't really have to, but if you want to, that's fine, right? All of these mixed messaging, this is the manipulation at play. There is no matrix. There is no none of that. There's Andrew Tate and his matrix of lies. Look at this. He's sending them pictures of houses. Why don't you just go recruit prostitutes to go ahead and do the OnlyFans? At least they're primed to know what the hell they're signing up for. Why recruit girls who have no idea what they're signing up for, only to manipulate them in this way? You're literally getting people who you're introducing trauma to people who they would have otherwise been living their lives if you just left them alone. That's sick.
He tells her, not only will you have to work hard, but hard enough to inspire the other girls to work even harder. He also tells the victim that Georgiana really likes her and that they should do a threesome together so that Georgiana would love the victim as a girlfriend. The victim clarifies whether that means TikTok or if it will include OnlyFans as well, and Tate lies to her. TikTok only, he says. I'll never ask you to do OnlyFans. But of course, you can do OnlyFans if you want to. The chat log jumps to March 29th, and she's calling Tate out. I heard you are the one running the girl business, OnlyFans and TikTok. He replies, T and G are. We're assuming the T is Tristan and G is still Georgiana. But I lead them, he says. So if that's accurate, as of March 29th of 2022, the entire webcam operation was still up and running, with Tate telling the victim he's the lead of the operation, and Tristan and Georgiana are his lieutenants that run the day-to-day. Well, that doesn't line up with the current narrative at all. Here's a small segment of that Candace Owens interview with Tate that we told you about earlier, which not only contradicts what Tate said to his victim on his own electronic device in chats, it shows how Candace is not there to interview Tate. She is there to validate the statements that Tate is making by nodding along and agreeing with his nonsense.
I didn't sell drugs. I didn't kill anybody. I mean, what did I do? I found a gap in the market and I helped some people organize some accounts on an internet website. That's what I did. And they're going to try and criticize me and crucify me for the next 100 years because of it, because of clips that were made 10 years ago. There was a webcam company, and I've talked about it at length on many different podcasts. I had a business. Many girls on there were perfectly fully clothed and would paint pictures or sing and dance and laugh. I've talked about this at length. I've had nothing to do with it for 10 or 11 years, and nobody was ever hurt. And I am not sorry for it. I don't see why I should be. I think it's crazy that people aren't even sitting there and going, okay, this guy's been absolutely attacked and from every single angle, this is the worst they could possibly drag up.
Right. No, I agree with you.
The charges are that in 2021, I recruited friends of mine by brainwashing them to steal their TikTok money.
So that's not connected at all.
Not at all. The webcam studio was shut 4.5, 5 years before I allegedly started this kidnapping gang.
That's not true. That's not true. We know what happened as soon as like a couple years ago. That's, oh my God, bro. Tucker Carlson, this is not good for your career, buddy. This is not good for your career, man. You're done as a legitimate news journalist. That's it. Your career is done with this interview right here. And ironically, I mean, this is an interview that's supposed to bring Tucker Carlson back on the map after he left Fox News. And who would have known he just destroyed his career with this one interview, bro? And you had one job, research. That's it.
Okay. So they're not connected.
You do not run a web business now.
No, absolutely not. And also, none of the alleged victims are girls who've ever worked at my streaming company in the past.
Now, getting back to the court transcripts from the rape victim. On April 4th, the relationship takes a different direction. No more talk of the victim becoming his wife. Now, Tate needs her to be on his team and do what Georgiana tells her. The victim asks, is this how our relationship will be, or is it just like that now? Tate whines about how she is complaining as if he doesn't have enough stress already, playing the victim card.
Facts. Now you got to throw it back in her face. Well, I work. All right, I'm the one that's working, so don't come to me. But you brought me here. You're the one that told me you were gonna marry me. Now I gotta work for this girl. I have no idea who she is, and she's making me do all this stuff I'm not comfortable with. And you haven't even been here. Where you at? All right, I thought I was coming here to marry you. Is this my life now? Is this what I'm relegated to? Just listening to some girl who's just yelling at me because I didn't want to do something she wants me to do, right? I mean, think about it. This is just textbook manipulation. Tate and his fanboys are a bunch of scumbags, dude. It's so bad. Great job, Common Sense. This is just great work.
On April 8th, he's now ordering her to stay in the house, that she is not to leave the house by herself without telling him not even to go to the mall or supermarket. This is the last warning, she's told. The court document then backs up to March 18th of 2022 to describe the first instance of rape against the victim. Although the victim had told Tate while they were in London that she would not agree to group sex, and Tate says he would not impose that on her, and she again told him on this date she did not agree to it, his female groomers worked her over with assurances and wine before Tate arrived at a rented hotel room, and when he arrived, Tate had sex with all of them, despite the victim being dizzy drunk and performing acts that she did not consider normal. Afterwards, she locked herself in the bathroom crying because she realized she had been manipulated. The second rape took place at the OnlyFans house on a night when Tristan Tate showed up with a new girlfriend named Kira. The victim was told to go to her room, and Tate followed her to the room, told her he was going to rape her, demanded she remove her clothes, and then struck her across the face. He continued to carry out acts of violence, telling her he didn't want to hear any more negative messages from her and that she was lucky to not be locked in the house. He told her he was going to get her pregnant and then lock her in the house, and then she would go crazy. The victim did not want to involve the police because she was afraid Tate would lock her up somewhere if he found out. The victim's statement is that these sexual acts and relations with Tate were not consensual and that he and the other girls manipulated her and made her accept it. An extrajudicial clinical psychologist evaluated this victim, finding her statements to be credible and consistent. The actions of Tate against this victim were systematic to break her down and had important and irreversible consequences on this victim. That report is part of the evidence against the organization and against Andrew Tate specifically for the charge that has been upgraded to rape in a continued form. Now, to go back to a previous segment, the name of this rape victim is Aliona. Aliona is the girl that Emma Gabby was planning on escaping with shortly after her arrival in Bucharest.
Oh! It all comes together. So all of a sudden, this swatting incident Tate is complaining about wasn't even a swatting incident because Emma was for real trying to rescue a victim here. And who knows, Alonia must, while she was in the house with Emma, was probably telling Emma her whole experience while she was there. That's why Emma and her dad were texting back and forth to try to get Alona out of there along with Emma. Alona was there taking the bullshit from the Tates before Emma got... Yo. It comes together, bro. Yeah, he's done. Especially because I didn't even know this. I didn't know this shit at all. Whoa. So the girl that was trapped alongside with Emma Gabby, the one Andrew Tate's suing right now, was the same girl that went through all of this bullshit with the Tates. Yo, Emma really saved that girl, man. Emma, because listen, a lot of the tater tots are trying to make it seem like, oh, these two girls, they're just trying to write a Netflix movie, okay? They're trying to purposely scam the Tates and, you know, ruin their careers and their reputation and all that. No, bro, it wasn't that at all. No, the first girl was there. She was really getting, screwed over. There's the text evidence to prove all of that. And then come to find out when the Tates brought another one, or they thought they got another recruit, Emma, right? She likely told Emma all of this stuff. And said, this is what's going on. This is how I got here, right? This guy lied to me. He's probably going to do the same thing to you, all right? And then Emma's saying, I'm not leaving without you. And before anything happened, Emma's mama called the police, all right? And the police, or not the police, but they contacted the embassy. Embassy got DICOT. DICOT raided the house and got both girls out. But, I mean, maybe Emma isn't this horrible person that the Tate's making him out to be. Right? Maybe she actually legitimately felt bad for that other girl that was trafficked there, and she tried to help her. This is crazy, bro. Brother Jumpy says we need a movie for Emma. This belongs in a movie, dog. They weren't playing. Maybe this is like a Netflix movie, dog. Escaping the Tate Mansion. Like this is a Netflix series right here. Them girls weren't lying. Like I'd make a movie about this. Like hell, this is great. This is a heroin action right here, right? These two women and the journey they just went through. That'd be crazy. I'd pay to see that. That's insane. Like just to go through this kind of journey, bro, that's wild. Oh no, I gotta roll that back one more time, Chad, because that just made too much sense right now.
Her to the room, told her he was going to rape her, demanded she remove her clothes, and then struck her across the face. He continued to carry out acts of violence, telling her he didn't want to hear any more negative messages from her, and that she was lucky to not be locked in the house. He told her he was going to get her pregnant, and then lock her in the house, and then she would go crazy. The victim did not want to involve the police because she was afraid Tate would lock her up somewhere if he found out. The victim's statement is that these sexual acts and relations with Tate were not consensual and that he and the other girls manipulated her and made her accept it. An extrajudicial clinical psychologist evaluated this victim, finding her statements to be credible and consistent. The actions of Tate against this victim were systematic to break her down and had important and irreversible consequences on this victim. That report is part of the evidence against the organization and against Andrew Tate specifically for the charge that has been upgraded to rape in a continued form. Now, to go back to a previous segment, the name of this rape victim is Aliona. Aliona is the girl that Emma Gabby was planning on escaping with shortly after her arrival in Bucharest. The call that Emma Gabby's parents made to the American embassy that activated DICOT saved Aliona, a girl they had never met before. After 5 weeks of captivity, she suffered from March 2nd to April 11th of 2022. We want you to remember this segment, how all of this unfolded, because we have to revisit it again in another segment that demonstrates how truly despicable the Tate brothers are.
I'm there.
Due to a new treasure trove of material shared with us recently and new events unfolding daily in this trial, to add to the facts of the case that we haven't gotten to yet, we're going to end part 3 here and pick it up again with a finale episode. In the meantime, help us crack the 100,000 subscriber mark.
Chat, hit
and
the sub button right now. I actually I have the channel linked in the description right now. So if you're not subscribed, please go subscribe to it. Help them hit 100,000 because they definitely deserve it with this top-notch research that they've done. I mean, they are breaking so many goddamn I didn't even know Alonia because I didn't even know any of that. I mean, chat, we read the chat back and forth, but we didn't really know who these people were back and forth. We just knew them as women who were trafficked by Tates, right? And then Emma Gabby was now revealed to us, and then we kind of deep dived into that. But this Alonia person, we never knew. But kudos to Common Sense Skeptic for doing that deep dive, man, because that broke everything. This guy's a creep and a predator, man. And a bunch of men supported this guy. They're still supporting this guy. Realistically, I'm going to have to say, in addition to Emma in this situation, realistically, her mama saved this, right? Her mama saved Emma multiple times. Saved her from the initial predator by getting that private investigator. And then you got her mama calling the embassy saying, yo, my daughter is in some kind of mansion. Get her out. But fortunately, there was another girl who was being trafficked almost a month before, 5 weeks. Hey, brother Jumpy, Shotzi for the $2 super chat. Romanian prison fits these dudes. Romanian prison fits. These dudes are predators. Facts. They are. They're the biggest predators I've ever laid my freaking eyes on and even covered. It gets worse. And even comments us up that he's saying that right now. There's going to be a part 3. So it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse than what we're seeing right now. And are we surprised? Are we honestly surprised at this point? Right? Of course, when you're dealing with guys who are pimps, when you're dealing with guys who engage in these kind of business practices, of course, there's going to be some level of just degeneracy that goes down. What sucks even worse is that you got guys in the mainstream media, how Andrew Tate was able to orchestrate his own matrix to run cover for his business practice. He was able to convince the masses that he was some kind of innocent arbiter of masculinity. Just trying to help men be men. Bringing masculinity back. Is this what we want as masculine men? We want a bunch of these guys running around? Because he taught courses on this, right? There's a bunch of courses out there. He wants guys to be exactly what he did. So do we want these kind of guys to be taken over? Just be honest. This is just sick. It gets worse, but we're going to keep covering it. But this guy's going down. And if you agree with me that this guy is going down, throw a 1 in the chat. Or if you still are in disbelief, even after all of this that was dropped, put a 2. I want to know. I actually want to know. And, you're not going to be persecuted or anything like that. I mean, being honest is also a great thing. So if you honestly believe that, they still don't have any evidence on Andrew Tate and Andrew Tate is innocent, go ahead and put a 2 in the chat. All right, just put a 2 in there and it's all right. Everything's all right. But if you genuinely believe that this guy is going to prison, all right, prison, not jail. I'm talking about prison, the extended stay. All right, put a 1 in the chat. In my book, he's done. He's done. He's guilty of sin. And I think a lot of this stuff he's doing now is just a last hurrah to go in and get as much money, get as much sympathy to keep his war room empire going. But who exactly are in the war room, right? Who exactly are in this group of people that even while Tate's in jail, he's still able to, benefit financially, right? Who are these players in the game? Are they also individually running their own operations? I think we got to look at a lot of this stuff. All of this stuff needs to be looked into. Who are these people? Where did they come from, right? That Iggy guy. Y'all remember him? Who is that? That's supposed to be Tate's mentor. Can we look into him, please? What's he got going on? Is he running some kind of operation? Has he ran an operation? Can we figure that out? Because when when you find out that you got a roach, if you see a roach sitting there, chances are that one roach isn't just it. right? There's probably a whole colony sitting there somewhere engaging in roach activities. All right, so just because we really look at Tristan Tate and we see Andrew Tate, all right, don't mean they're the only two roaches in town. I think that if this is the kind of level these guys were playing at, let's go ahead and see who else is around them that were engaging in all these other behaviors. Because who knows, there might be a woman right now in the similar captivity that Alonia was held at the Tate Mansion that could need rescuing at this point, right? Covering this video may not be enough. There might be a woman right now in one of these guys' houses that they own that probably wasn't rated by DICOT, and we don't know, that needs help right now, and we have no clue. I think a lot of these guys need to be investigated. If you agree with me, hit the like button, hit the sub button, and the bell notification, and we'll be right back at it with another one. Peace. Jeez.